And we are live. So hello, everybody. Welcome to New Ambassadors Theater Lab 29. My name is David Gill. I'm the Artistic Director for New Ambassadors Theater Company. We have all these lovely people who are joining us tonight to participate in the lab as writers and actors. And I'm going to throw it over to our host for this evening, Dan Checkley. Just want to give everyone a heads up at the end of each piece. We're going to have our feedback session. We're going to be re-implementing that. So you can participate on YouTube. We have, our other co-host, Erin Mohan, who's going to be on the YouTube side, who's going to be curating that. And we have the form for you to fill out and everything. It's going to be hopefully very easy for you to do to make your opinion known and give these writers the feedback that they need, which is the whole reason for this lab. All right, Dan, take it away.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Theater Lab 29, which is crazy to think about, the 29th. So we have a lot of amazing pieces tonight, a lot of amazing actors. I think this is one of the biggest theater labs I've ever been a part of. So it's really nice to see that everybody is participating. So first thing we're going to be reading is the Untitled Project, aka Blackborn by Raphael Jordan.
So Raphael, just give us a little background on this piece and introduce your actors, and then we'll get ready to go.
Hi, great. I'm Raphael Jordan. Honestly, the idea of this screenplay, first of all, this is a screenplay versus a playwright form. So imagine this as camera. I had a dream about a piece of this screenplay, and sometimes when I have dreams, I develop them into full-length pieces, as I did with this one. I'm actually very curious to see what people's thoughts are without much information around it. You can take what you will from the possible title, well, the kind of working title, Blackborn. And then I think just, I'm really interested in the feedback of how it feels as the beginning. This is just the beginning, the very beginning through the first 20 pages or so. So I'm very curious how the beginning strikes you, particularly as a screenplay. It's about, you know, getting people to want to turn that next page. So I'm very curious about how you're sparked or inspired to turn the next page or not. I have an amazing cast with me. I'm gonna forget everybody's character names, but I've got, I'm just gonna go from how I can see it in my screen. Bo Tom is reading Nate. Ty Tillman is reading Marcus Jones. Lakeisha May is reading Zella Okoye and Benicia. Monica Ray is reading Encarnacion. Helene Galek is reading Mrs. Conway. Josh Hemphill is reading Dave and another role possibly.
Yes, Officer 2.
Officer 2. August is reading Housing Inspector and Officer 1. And David Michael Kirby will be reading our stage directions, and I think that's everybody. So I guess, David, whenever you're ready, you don't worry about this quote. You can just go right to
I was going to start with the quote.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. That's great. I don't know if it'll make it to the film, but we'll use it for this purpose. And take it away.
Precisely at the point when you develop a conscience, you must find yourself at war with your society. James Baldwin. Prologue. The following happens in black as a sound collage, pieces of a puzzle that are out of place. Whimpering, a woman fearful and crying, speaking in Syrian dialect, faraway explosions, heavy vehicles, trucks, Humvees, soldiers laden with combat gear, a man speaking a different Syrian dialect, an American male speaking Arabic. There's a problem, an explosion, closer, arguing. A car crashes nearby. Shouting, gunfire, more explosions growing in volume and intensity, overlapping, repeating of sounds until sharp cut to interior bedroom, blue light of very early morning. Zella Okoye, a woman of color in her mid-late 20s, looks down into the camera.
Hey.
Huh?
You okay?
Huh? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's try and get a few more hours of sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'll be right back.
Marcus gets out of bed and heads to the kitchen. Marcus Jones, black, 30s, wears a beat-up t-shirt and shorts. We see he is fit and built. He grabs a glass from a cabinet and fills it from a Brita. On a cork board, we see various pictures of Zella and Marcus with friends on a hike. There are printouts of houses from Zillow.com. A photo of Marcus with another athletic black man roughhousing, cut away with a gun being cocked, which starts the song California Love by Tupac Shakur. Exterior day, opening titles and credits start. Close-up on spinning car wheels rises up to show Zella driving, Marcus in the passenger seat looking at printouts. Marcus and Zella sing along to California Love. They don't know all the words or even all the same words, but it's fun, and they go on for a while.
Let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
Yes.
A state like that. Oh,
Yeah,
Marcus lowers the music a little, absently mouths words to the hook while looking at printouts.
Why do you insist on printing those out? You can look at all that on your phone and save a tree.
I need to touch and see them in front of me. Also, you can't do this with a smartphone.
Marcus holds up one sheet, then another.
See? Side by side.
Uh-huh. Well, good for you. Okay, I think we're almost there. I'm not sure about this one. Seems a little too in transition. Give me hood or give me gentrified, but these neighborhoods on the rise are kind of icky. Yuppies happy to see a Starbucks pop up and don't realize the cafe it replaced was basically a community center for 20 years.
That's what I said, but you were like, I don't.
No. You cannot Monday quarterback this. We both agreed on this list today. I'm just saying, after the others, this one is gonna have to really blow me away.
Well, this guy is already blowing me away.
Through the car window, we see Dave, a white man in his late 30s to 50s, a real estate agent in an oddly patterned suit jacket, grinning ear to ear, walking up to meet, puts his hands on Marcus's open window.
Hey folks, Dave Nielsen. You must be the Joneses. I'll try to keep up.
Hi, Dave. I'm Marcus. This is Zella.
Pleased to meet y'all.
I just, excuse me?
Referring to Dave blocking the door.
Oh, oops, sorry. Where is my head?
I don't know.
Come on in.
Marcus looks at Zella like, this is going to be interesting. Zella's amused by Marcus's annoyance. Wide view of Zella and Marcus getting out of their car. Dave marching up the lawn to the house. We see the full view. It's an updated Victorian house with a well-manicured lawn on a well-manicured street. Cut to interior kitchen. Time has passed. We are now post-walkthrough.
And so I think you all could make an aggressive offer. The house is beautiful, obviously, but has been sitting for a while, tied up in city ordinances, some weird property line redrawing.
Right.
Gotta say, I think the owners would love to sell to you. Zella, you said you work in tech? My wife is a project manager for Winkle, you know, the first smart baby Bjorn. Where do you work?
Love this kitchen. Sunlight and the counter space. Ooh, and the stove.
He caresses it. Zella's face says, boy, not in public.
Well, this is a good retirement home. Put your feet up, learn needlepoint. You deserve it. Did I say thank you for your service?
You did.
What branch of the military was it? My dad was a Navy man himself.
And Marcus is also starting a food truck with an old friend. Tell him, honey.
That's great.
Yeah, it'll be a Caribbean and soul food fusion truck.
I love fusions. My wife is black. That was a joke. I'm kidding. She is black though.
I thought it was funny, Dave.
My buddy Nate brings the Jamaican, and I basically made it my own personal mission to perfect all the different styles of comfort soul food. But right now, We're focused on getting her situated at her job, the new commute, and I'll be getting the house set up for the baby.
Oh, wow. Wow. Congrats. I had no idea. I should have guessed. My worth is 5 now, and I can usually spot that pregnant glow across the street. Wow, you're telling folks already? You couldn't be out of the first trimester.
Well, actually, today is 12 weeks exactly. We just told our family and friends yesterday.
Wow, first baby, new business venture. I think you were meant to see this house today.
What's the neighborhood like?
Great neighborhood, great families and professional people. And
what are the owners like? And why are they selling?
you know, that's a good question. I think it was just, the neighborhood was changing and
hipster yuppies.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm, yeah. That may have been the factor.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but really though, this is still a diverse neighborhood out on the San Pablo. There are still a lot of original mom and pop businesses.
Yeah. I noticed a little yoga studio.
That's Black owned. It's Black owned.
So why did the owners move?
Okay, well, the story is, and well, you didn't hear this from me because I don't like to gossip, but the original owners passed away a few months ago, and their son and daughter were thinking of moving in. But when they stopped by to check on the renovations, they had some issues with one of the new neighbors, if you know what I mean, white people. And eventually they decided to just list it, but truthfully, you should have seen the block party they had on the way out. Best lumpia I ever had. Garlic rice, biscuits and gumbo, chicken mole.
Okay, Dave, okay. It does feel special. To be honest, Dave, I was ready to hate this place, but kind of love it.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, well, you've got my info. Just let me know what.
Let's do it, baby.
What?
Let's buy this one. Now?
Like right now?
Look, Dave, you said they'll take 10% below asking to close by the end of the month. We'll do it. We're pre-approved. We're ready to move forward.
Honey, are you sure? I mean, we should look at the accounts and the other places.
You are enamored with this house, Zell. It's a better commute than those other places. I've got my payout. We'll be okay.
I thought we weren't going to touch that.
Yes, but if we can use it to save
$70,000.
$70,000, you want to say yes. You do. I can feel it. You haven't checked your phone, taken a note about work. Look at you right now. You're practically rooted into the kitchen island. Okay? This house brings you peace.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Dave grabs them both in a hug.
Okay.
Cut to exterior front porch. Dave has some papers and a manila folder they've signed. Zella and Marcus walk down the lawn toward the street in their car.
Oh, Dave, can we pull this for sale sign out?
Yeah, throw it in the street. Not really, but yeah, pull it out and I'll toss it in the bin around the side later. Mixed recycling neighborhood.
Dave, you are silly. You just might get invited to the barbecue.
I'll bring potato salad. Don't worry, I hate raisins. And my mom was from New Orleans.
You are crazy, Dave. I love it. Baby, get a photo of me pulling the for sale sign out so we can post it on Insta.
All right, hold on.
Marcus gets his phone out.
Okay. Go. No, okay, another one. Hold on, let me, wait, okay. and one more. Yeah, just a little more like, yeah.
All right, Spike, did we get it?
Depends, Spike Jones or Spike Lee?
Let me see. Okay, this is the one. Delete the other ones. Delete them.
Okay. You are ridiculous with that, girl. Of course, they're being redacted as we speak.
Come, let's go. We can post it in the car.
Marcus in the car, close up on phone. As photos are deleted, a stop motion movement happens. In the background, we see an older white woman next door trimming hedges, getting annoyed and suspicious. Fade to black. Interior, Jones hallway. Zella and housing inspector, white man, 20s to 40s, enter from the basement.
How much do you think that will run?
Fuse boxes are usually anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000.
Okay, not so bad.
No, not bad at all.
Something wrong with your eyes?
No, I'm good. You wanted to show me something out back?
Yeah, through the kitchen.
Zella's phone rings.
Finally. Look, I'll meet you out there. Rhea, why am I getting frantic messages from the NSA director saying the patch isn't working?
Zella looks up and sees the inspector hanging in the doorway, leering at her.
Rhea, one moment. Sir, I don't know what Black Dom fantasy you've got scrolling through your head, but I assure you the reality won't live up to your expectations. I will meet you in the backyard.
You're black?
Boy, if you don't get your ass out of here.
Yes, mistress.
He leaves. What was that?
White fragility.
Zella pulls a laptop from her bag and places it on the kitchen island.
Okay, show me the problem.
They're saying a security consultant team caught the backdoor vulnerability.
Security consultant team? Well, at least we had the decency to just be lone mercenary hackers. Now they've got publicists? What in the world? This is Scott, isn't it? Hold on. I have my original build here. Should work while we untangle this mess. I'm sending it now.
Exterior, Jones' backyard. Low-angle shot, housing inspectors with a puzzled look. Zella enters frame from behind.
This is what I was talking about. Any idea what it is?
We see a rectangular sloping depression in the grass, about 4 feet wide and a foot deep.
Not sure. These sinkholes can be dangerous, and it's hard to tell how large they might be underneath. You'll need to get a geological survey. There might be previous records filled with the city.
It's the Underground Railroad.
Zella turns to see Mrs. Conway, white woman, 50s, in a gardening hat trimming her hedges. We recognize this as the same scowling woman from Marcus's photos.
Excuse me?
You know, runaways like Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. Choo-choo! Underground!
Aha! That's not how that works.
Ma'am, that is extremely offensive. Apologize now.
He winks at Zella like, I got this. Mrs. Conway scowls at the housing inspector and then looks past him. Zella turns to see Marcus coming around the house. Zella turns back and catches Mrs. Conway eyeing him like a piece of steak. Mrs. Conway smirks.
Hey, sweetness.
They kiss.
What's going on here?
I'm Zella, and this is Marcus. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, Miss.
Mrs. Conway.
Mrs. Conway. We're your new neighbors, the Joneses. Just getting things approved before we move in next month.
Mrs. Conway looks at the housing inspector. He shrugs like, what do you want from me? Mrs. Conway deepens her scowl, decisively clips the branch from the hedge and moves away.
Nice to meet you. It's amazing what welfare, food stamps, affirmative action can yield, right? Oh, my brother will be out of prison soon. He'll be by with the kennel of pit bulls. I can't wait. Can you?
New best friend?
Zella playfully hits his chest and marches back towards the house. Housing inspector and Marcus stand awkwardly for a moment.
I'm Zach.
Hi, Zach. I'm Marcus.
I didn't.
Huh?
No, I just.
Hey.
Yes, mistress.
He turns on a dime and walks toward the house. Marcus is puzzled watching Zach, the housing inspector, walk towards the house. Something changes. Marcus's expression shifts. Ambient sounds fall away. Marcus turns with a snap and we see Mrs. Conway in a window staring at him. She glares at him. Marcus tries to discern her intent. Sound of a rickety lawnmower starting up and loudly backfiring pulls his focus. When he looks back, Mrs. Conway is gone. Sufficiently weirded out, Marcus exits toward the house. Camera holds on the Conway window, subtly pushes in. Briefly and faintly, we see Mrs. Conway walk past in an outfit of revealing black leather straps with a large leather paddle. The curtains snap shut. Interior Jones' kitchen a few weeks later. Marcus on the phone as he finishes making breakfast. This is their first morning in the house. Zella in a skirt pantsuit getting her papers together. There are boxes everywhere. Marcus even needs to pull a spatula out of one to finish cooking.
No, it has to be grass-fed. I know, but the quality is what's going to make it stand out. Well, can you get a better price? I don't know. I'm not sure if we'll be able to handle that much. All right, okay, well, let's keep looking. Okay, bye. Damn.
Was that Nate?
Nah, it was your meat guy, Patrick. We may not have the goat meat Nate wants for the first weekend.
What? Yo, you gotta have that. That ghost stew he makes is gonna win awards.
What about my okra zucchini hush puppies?
Those are good too.
Oh, but not award winning?
Well, you win all the awards.
In bed. Don't I know it?
They kiss.
Okay, I gotta run. Those paint samples are drying in the baby room. Tell me which one you like. And don't forget to go through that box of clothes from my mom. I want to go down to the Goodwill tomorrow, and I am sure half of those hand-me-downs will have to be handed on.
Yes, Miss Boss Lady. I got my whole honey-do list itemized.
And what about those tools on the front porch?
First thing, gonna fix that door today.
Oh, great. Okay, gotta go.
Bye, baby.
They kiss. Zella takes another bite of food and hustles out the door. Marcus notices she forgot her lunch and coffee on the counter. He grabs them and runs after her. The front door closes hard with a deep suction vault sound. Exterior Jones's house street. Zella is backing her car into the street. Marcus runs up to it.
Zell, wait. Here, you might want this.
Oh, jeez. Thanks, husband. What would I do without you?
Starve and die of loneliness, probably.
Shut up.
They kiss again.
I love you, Marcus Jones.
I love you, Zella Okoye.
Zella drives off. Marcus watches her leave. He turns back to the house, gets to the front door. It's locked.
Ah, shit. This damn door.
Marcus goes around the side of the house looking for a way in. As he circles the house, we are slowly enveloped by sounds from Marcus's memory. Rain starts to pour down. Footfalls of boots on wet asphalt and mud. The sound of a truck, and Marcus looks over his shoulder sharply. The sounds subside. He goes all the way around to a window on the side or front that looks promising. He looks at it a moment, assessing. The rain comes back, and we hear the sound of a window being broken quietly and the lock being undone. Marcus thinks about breaking this window, but sees the lock to the window is open. He looks around the neighborhood, realizing he looks a bit sketchy. Marcus is suddenly very efficient in taking the screen out without breaking it, sliding the window up and getting into the house. He looks out at the neighborhood again. Normal sounds are heard. The street is sunny and empty. Inside the room, he sees an open box marked old baby clothes. He pulls out a Ninja Turtles onesie. He holds it.
This brings me joy.
He looks back at the wide open window with the screen where the screen is still out. With a slight camera pan, we see the house next door and Mrs. Conway standing with 2 grocery bags. She stands in a clear state of shock and fear, staring at Marcus. She sees him see her and quickly fumbles with her keys to get inside her house. Marcus runs to talk to her. In her haste, she has left her door ajar and Marcus can see her inside with her landline in hand.
Hi, Mrs. Conway. How are you? You remember me? Zella's husband. We met a couple weeks ago while we were here for an inspection. Me and my wife, Zella.
Mrs. Conway, clearly scared, is not absorbing or really acknowledging what he is saying.
Please don't call the cops. I live here. I'm your neighbor, remember? I locked myself out. Something is wrong with the doorknob, so it just keeps locking itself.
Marcus sees he's not getting through to her, cuts his losses, and immediately goes back to his house. Preparing for the police to come in quick succession, he puts the screen back in the window and closes it, brings in the tools from the porch, then takes off his shirt. Just in a tank top and pants, he waits outside.
Oh, look at Tyrese over here. Hey, baby.
From across the street on the front porch of a large multifamily townhouse or apartment building, we see Vernicia and Encarnacion.
Oh, hey, hi.
Looking like a Diet Coke commercial.
How y'all doing?
Fine, fine. See you and your Filipina princess settling in over there. I asked Encarnacion if it was one of her cousins.
I would have slapped you too, but then I was like, hold up, is that Mari?
Look, she's not Filipina, actually. Y'all might want to go inside. The cops are on their way over.
Oh yeah, we know. I see you got the Miss Conway care package. Welcome to the neighborhood. Look, that lady been calling up pigs like Amazon Prime since she moved in.
Tried to have a party for my nephew's birthday. This bitch comes out talking like, y'all cockroaches better scatter because the boys in blue are coming to clear us out.
They've been trying to squeeze us out of here for a while now. Think harassment is gonna get us out. But I could take it and dish it. But these property taxes might just be the hollow points to finish the job. Come on, let's get some tea before this little show out here starts. We'll be back, cutie.
They go inside. Wide shot of Marcus sitting on his porch. The front end of a dark colored Crown Vic pulls into frame. Marcus looks up. We hear the car door slam.
Hey, nigga.
Nate.
Surprise, man.
Nate, 30s black man, maybe a little more muscular than Marcus, walks up leaning on a cane.
What you doing here?
I came through early to shake your ass up.
They clasp hands like Arnold and Carl Weathers in Predator.
Look, I was going to scoop you from the airport next week.
Decided to drive. It's a quick 6 hours. Did it in 5, though. You ready to be food truck millionaires?
Cop car pulls up with 2 officers inside, both white men in their late 20s, 30s.
Hey, man, hold up. We got a situation. This lady called the cops on me.
Say what?
Look, I'll tell you later. How are you officers doing?
Stay where you are.
Into the car radio.
2 black male suspects, late 20s to 30s, athletic build.
Let's see some ID.
This is ridiculous. The man is in his own front yard and y'all just roll up on him like this?
I need you to be quiet, sir. I'll deal with you and your identification in a minute.
Well, you got your hand on your gun, though. You intimidated? You better reassess, boy.
Nate, just chill, man.
Been several burglaries in the area.
And we fit the description, huh? Take your hand off your gun. We're vets, man.
Officer 1 bristles.
Okay, okay. My ID, right? Here we go.
Marcus goes to his back pocket and feels a screwdriver he tucked there. Shit, this is not good. Officer number 2 coming from the car drawing his gun.
Hands up!
Whoa. Hold up. What's going on?
I think these are the guys, man.
Guys gonna whoop your ass.
Everyone just take a second. Breathe.
Cut to rural township. Suddenly it's night and raining. Close up on Marcus with black or camo face paint. He wears full tactical gear. We see him assessing a situation. Cut to exterior Jones house, street continuous. Back to sunny daylight in the neighborhood.
Get on the ground, asshole.
Look around you, buddy. Feel the ground.
Cut to rural township.
Under your feet. Breathe. Slow your heart rate down. And we go in.
Camera pulls to reveal Nate in the same tactical gear. They both shoulder short, silenced, semi-automatic weapons. Their gear is clearly above normal military issue. Nate turns to say something to Marcus. Cut to exterior Jones house. You're muted, Nate.
Yo, Marcus, enough of this. Call the audible, man.
No.
Exterior police dash cam, black and white dash cam footage.
Shut the fuck up. Get down now.
Exterior Jones house continuous. Marcus gets to his knees, starts to lay face down. Officer number 2 comes in on Nate. Exterior police dash cam continuous. Officer 2 front kicks Nate in the stomach. He falls to the ground. Exterior Jones house. Marcus reacts to Nate being kicked. Cut to rural township, night raining. Nate, turning back to Marcus, sees a glint in a 3rd floor window. He throws Marcus to the side and squeezes off several rounds. 2 return shots overlap but stop. Marcus sees someone on a roof, shoots him down. Marcus and Nate duck into an abandoned shop front. Marcus sees Nate is bleeding. Cut to exterior Jones house, laying face down with officer number 1 on top of him. Marcus sees officer number 2 on top of Nate. Slow-mo. Close up, we see the cop's knee digging straight into Nate's spine. He struggles from pain, face in the dirt, trying to breathe.
Stop resisting.
Officer number 1 on top of Marcus feels the screwdriver.
What is this? God, they're armed!
Slow-mo close up, Nate breathing in dirt. We see and hear officer number 2's knee crunch into his spine. Regular speed, Nate twists in pain sharply. Officer number 2 pulls his trigger twice. Bang. Bang! Across the ground, Marcus sees Nate's shock of pain and then eyes go blank. Officer number 1 on Marcus hesitates. Marcus snaps. Neighborhood sounds fall away, just sounds of the fight fill the world. With an impressive exhibition of grappling and combat training, Marcus takes out the 2 cops. We hear a screen door. Marcus looks and sees Vernicia and Encarnacion.
Oh my God.
They go back inside. Marcus looks at the 2 dead cops, then over at Mrs. Conway's house. Cut to rural township night, raining, rain coming down hard. Marcus looking up at a large house, the target. Cut to exterior Jones' house. Marcus sees Mrs. Conway looking through her window, holding aside a white lace curtain. His tactical anger bubbles back to the surface. He sees Nate's dead eyes and then marches over to Mrs. Conway's. She sees him coming and leaves the window. End of excerpt.
Okay, wow, guys, that was intense. Okay, we only have about 4 minutes, so I would like to get to the feedback. Dan, you there?
I am.
Okay, so Raphael, is there anything in particular that you want people to focus on the feedback with at this point?
I'm really just interested in just general reactions to the opening. Yeah, I guess there's one question that's on the Google form too that could lead this is how much are you intrigued by what happens next and how much are you confused?
Okay. All right. So just so that everyone knows, the feedback form is available to everyone. If you don't get to have your say or talk, give some of your feedback, you can fill that out. It will get to Raphael. The first question is, okay, what grabbed your attention? There was a lot there. What was compelling? What images stay with you? Please use your hand, raise your hand, and I'll call on you. Anyone? Well, I'm okay. Jennifer Downs, please.
The things that, like, my kind of popcorn moments were all of the comedy at the very top of the piece. It was so sharp and such good jokes, but I still felt really foreboding underneath it. There was just something about it, how they were paced and everything like that, what they were put around made me feel like that was extremely funny. Do I not have to worry? But I always lean back towards, I feel like I should be worried right now.
Great. Excellent. I absolutely agree with that. Anyone else?
Yeah, the way that was, sorry, didn't raise my hand.
Okay, Luis?
Yeah, I loved the scene when they were being sold the house. I thought that was like, so, and Josh, I thought was like so, so watchable, you know? I thought that they were being sold something that also felt nefarious. Even though I wanted them to buy the house, I wanted them to take the bait, you know? I wanted them to like go back in this neighborhood and like start their life, you know? I was really compelled, and I was really compelled by the earnestness of Marcus as well. I think that he's like a guy that I could totally see him having rational moments of decision making that lead him to a tragic end or to experience a trauma. So I thought that it was a great balance of having that like otherworldly mystery, murderous vibe, but also feeling like it's an everyday, everyman kind of nonchalantness about it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I thought the balance was great of comedy and then whatever that other thing was, that haunting, keep you on your toes. I thought it was very well done. I'm sorry, Ginny, you had something to say.
Yes, I want to echo what others have said about the terrible foreboding I felt from really the minute it started, and although I thought the realtor he did a great job and it was good comedy, I felt his disingenuousness and it kind of made me angry. I don't know if that's what you wanted to have happen. And you know, Mrs. Conway, I kind of want him to hit her in the eye with a screwdriver, but Yeah, I'm waiting for the next scene. So what if that's what you wanted to happen? You got it.
Yeah. Mandy.
I just want to say that the line Zella had about I don't want to live in this neighborhood, or I'd rather live in this one or this one, but not the one that's in between, really rang true on so many levels for me. And I thought that was just magic and planted a seed that's I'm probably going to be thinking about for days.
Okay. Anyone else? Popcorn moments? Severnan.
Yay. Hi, Raphael. It was so good. It's good to see you. I thought this was super exciting. There's a feeling, I found myself wondering a lot if it was a horror film. There was that, I mean, I feel like we're also primed for that with Us and, you know, the other movies that are coming out, Antebellum, you know, we're sort of primed for that horror feeling. And I appreciated the play and the reference to sort of other events. There's a moment, like especially with the kneeling on the back thing, where I was like, wow, I'm not sure if people would think that this was too far-fetched because we just watched it happen recently. But I've been listening to all sorts of interviews lately, and this particular thing has happened in this exact way so many times. I appreciated that. My favorite moment, though, was the reversal, and the fact that the cops are the ones that are killed, and not the black men, which is so satisfying and so terrifying, both to me as an audience. I've been working on the trial of Crystal Mason. I don't know if you know anything about that, but she's evicted out of, she moved into Tarrant County, which is in Texas, and the neighborhood literally turned against her, and she went to prison for tax evasion, and then the current case that is now on its second appeal has she's been convicted of voter fraud because she was never told that she wasn't allowed to vote in Texas after a convicted felony, and it was a complete setup. So what I've been learning in these other groups that I'm working on, and in the Crystal Mason trial, I feel like it could be a horror story, but it's like pulling on all of those things that are actual horror stories. And I don't know if people believe them. But like we hear it and it sounds like this like fictional horror film, but I think that this is real. So I'm curious to know what happens. I'm curious to know what happens to the boys. The guy, look at me calling them boys. These men. I'm curious to see what happens to them. I'm terrified for them. I'm pretty sure that the community is going to turn on them because it already has it out for them. But I'm really excited about the piece and terrified and sad and all of that.
Thank you, Severnan. We don't have any more time. We have to move on, but please do use the feedback. We also will be saving the comments, so you can continue to make comments, and I will forward that information to the playwrights. Again, the questions are the popcorn moments, the things that stays with you, the specific moments, turns of phrases, imagery. The next will be development. Was there anything, I'm sorry, no, it's not. It would be, was there questions? Were there any places where you got lost or that confused you at all? And then lastly, it is the development. Was there anything you would like to see further developed? Raphael, I thought this was just incredible. I do want to see what happens next. I'm not sure if you know the movie Neighbors. It's with Jim Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. It's so old. But there's this sense of comedy it's dark comedy and it's menace, and it's balanced so beautifully. It's like one of those movies that I can watch over and over again. And I feel that way about this. It's such a beautiful balance of the comedy and then just the realism in terms of, you know, these things happen. So and then the menace of everything, and it just gets intertwined, and it's very compelling. Really well done. Congratulations. Dan and I have an announcement. I'm not sure if it's going to ruin everyone's evening. Dan, do you want to let everyone know?
Yeah, so I just got notification just now of the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, wow.
So I hate to be a Debbie Downer and to bear
God.
terrible news. Yeah.
Just let's all take a breath. Everybody needs to vote. Everybody needs to vote. Everybody needs to vote.
She's trying to hold on so hard too.
Yeah, she
What
really
an
was.
amazing woman.
Yeah, working at her hospital bed.
She's phenomenal.
Okay, sorry, I just thought that was an important thing to let people know.
now.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on. Dan,
Yeah. So the show must go on. So we're going to continue. Our next piece is going to be Blood is Thicker Than by Jasmine Spees. Jasmine, if you can say a couple things about your play and we'll get going.
It's also trivial. It's so interesting. It's just very ironic because my piece is actually about like people talking about things that are really important and then an event happens. So not unlike what just happened to all of us. So I think it's really interesting. This is a vignette that I've been working on. I think some of you guys have seen little clips from it. Basically, this one, I guess, is going to be the third scene in my full-length play, and it's the last scene that I think I need to continue to like get to be able to have like my first working full-length script ever. Yay! So yay! And anyways, I have the fabulously talented Sandra Paris playing Georgia. I have the wonderfully talented as well, Severn Ann Mason, who needs to catch a flight. So thank you so much. And then also, I believe I have Ginny on the stage directions for this one and also the voice over the loudspeaker. All right, everybody, stay strong, be awesome. I love you all. So I'm gonna go away now.
Blood is Thicker Than, Baby Store by Jasmine Spees. The man crosses the stage as the scene begins just outside the store. Georgia, African-American, pregnant and due any day now, and Tracy, Caucasian, not pregnant, but clearly there for support, are in an all-purpose baby store. Think Bye Bye Baby. Georgia helplessly flips through a registry guide. She fans through the pages dramatically. It is not a small book.
Tracy, where do we even start? Look at this thing.
Breathe, Georgia.
What the hell is gripe water? Do we get a sling, wrap, or frame carrier? Do we need one of those 007 baby monitors?
Do you need to sit?
Will we be shunned by other parents if we use the wrong bottles or baby wipes?
You should sit.
Tracy guides Georgia to a chair, perhaps one of the fancy nursing chairs, or any surface where it would be acceptable to sit in a baby store.
What if we're doing this parenting thing all wrong?
We'll be fine. There are challenges. These days, there are a lot of kids with gay parents.
Yeah, but that's not...
We went through all of this because we have so much love to give, and we want to raise our child to be an extension of that love.
Yeah, right. But will she be loved by a world that has, I don't know, so much prejudice?
I have no doubt. She'll lead the way.
How can she lead the way when she must rely on the acceptance of others to get her there?
Having two moms is not that big of a deal.
Okay, we're two moms having a biracial baby.
I know.
You only know half of it.
Are you feeling all right? Do I need to get you some water?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
I thought we already came to an understanding about this.
We did, but we didn't go far enough.
Georgia, I get that this is overwhelming.
You're not hearing me.
Breathe, honey. It's easy to get overwhelmed. Look at all this stuff.
Listen to me. She'll be here.
I am
any moment,
listening.
Tracy.
Our baby is coming. I know.
Before we know it, she'll be growing up, and we have to make sure that she's prepared.
Growing up is exciting.
What's it going to be like when she cries to you after school about something you can't relate to? What are you gonna do when I'm not home from work yet?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to
It's
it.
not a bridge. It's reality. And she'll have to deal with it every day.
What do you think I'm not getting here?
I'm Black.
Yeah. And you're beautiful. Our daughter will be beautiful.
It's not about being beautiful or not beautiful. I can act straight, but I can't be not Black.
I love you just the way you are.
But that doesn't make you Black.
It'll be the same.
It'll be the same for our daughter.
I get that, but someone will love her like I love you.
Love has nothing to do with it. People will instantly make judgments about her based on the color of her skin. Tracy, you can't snap your fingers and fix this.
Are you trying to make me feel shitty? What am I supposed to do here?
Do you think this is easy for me to say to you?
There's nothing I can do about my skin color.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Have I done something to make you doubt how I feel about you? Because you're Black?
Never. I love you more than anything. But I've also seen you stand up for me simply because I'm not white.
When have I had to?
Your parents.
My parents love you.
Now they do. They had to come around.
It was awkward.
Yeah, they made their judgments immediately. They knew you liked women, but it was strongly implied that I had to prove to them that I was worthy of their daughter.
You never had to prove anything to anybody. I'm sorry they made you feel that way.
There's nothing you could have done about it.
When they saw how happy you make me, they couldn't deny that you were my person. People change. They changed.
Not everybody changes. Okay. There is a deep-seated hatred that is taught from parent to child. Take your friend Kevin, for example.
Ex-friend. My ex-friend.
Okay. You still lost a friend over something I can't change. Something you can't change.
I knew his parents were racist, but I didn't think he was.
And our daughter will have to experience that coldness at some point, simply because another child was taught to hate her for being Black. I guarantee it.
I don't want her to go through that.
It's something our child will understand more than you do.
Nothing will truly prepare either of us for having a child. We discussed the difficulties our child would face when we were preparing for IVF. We agreed we wanted her to look like both of us.
We did. But being so close to actually having her has made me take all of this more seriously. I hate saying there's no way you're going to be able to fully empathize with your child's experience. But it's the truth. Are you okay with that?
Of course I'm not okay with that. How could I be? The thought of our child going through things that I have never gone through makes me feel like I'm already going to be a useless parent.
Okay, you are going to have to learn to prepare her for a world that treats her differently than it treated you when you were growing up. If you're committed to being an ally, you won't be a useless parent.
I want to be a better ally. I'm trying so hard to fully understand what you mean.
You know how my dad loves to golf.
Yeah.
When I was 8, we went on a road trip so Dad could play on one of the toughest golf courses at the PGA Tour. He had a pass to play golf on the course for a day. It included a VIP access to the country club for the family, which had a pool with a large slide and a diving board. It was all about the pool for me.
Very little has changed.
True. We get to the country club, Dad pays his fee, and Mom and I head to the pool. Everyone there was white, but I didn't think anything of it. I ran and cannonballed into the pool with the other kids.
Did your mom yell at you?
She didn't need to. Some white lady cut her off and said she was getting the country club manager because our kind was not allowed here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Mom asked her to clarify her statement, and the lady didn't hold back. It's the first time I remember hearing the N-word.
Please tell me somebody there said something to stop her.
Their silence spoke volumes. I remember seeing Mom looking around for anyone who would stand up for us. Nobody did.
What is wrong with people?
As the white manager walked over to address the white lady and ask her what was wrong, Mom turned to me and gently coaxed me out of the pool. She simply said, "Sometimes you have to pick your battles." I cried all the way back to the car.
What would have happened if you had stayed?
I don't know. Mom told me that some people play by a different set of rules, and she didn't want me to find out what those rules were.
You never told me the story. What about your dad? Was he okay?
He was really quiet when he got in the car. But I could tell something had happened. My family never talked about it again. I never told you because in that instance, my whole family was helpless.
Your family is strong as hell. And you're right. This never would have happened to me and my parents growing up.
Right.
Our daughter's going to have to go through this her whole life.
If something doesn't change, yes.
How can we change it?
If I had $1 for every time I've asked myself that question.
I've never fully understand as much as it pains me.
I wanted to be sure we talked about it. I will never be done talking about it until it's no longer an issue.
It's necessary. Prejudice is something I will never experience because of my skin color, but my daughter and my wife will. I promise you both, I will stand up and fight furiously for true equality for all, to the end.
Thank you.
I wish I could fix this, but I can't solve every problem. I'm still hopeful.
Yeah.
Tracy takes George's hands lovingly.
This little lady is going to change the world.
How do you know that?
Because she has us as her moms.
Tracy takes George's face in her hands. Just as she is about to plant a loving kiss, they hear a rapid popping sound. They stop cold and hear people screaming. People begin rushing past the store in a panic. Everyone, please proceed to the nearest exit in a calm and orderly fashion.
Stay there. I'll try to see if there's a back exit.
Tracy exits for a moment.
Can anybody help me with these? Hello, is anyone here?
It appears everyone is gone. Tracy rushes back in a panic.
There's a huge shipment of strollers blocking the door. Should we stay here and hide?
We'd be sitting ducks. I think we can make it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right, let's go. We got to get out of here.
Okay.
As the rapid popping sound gets louder and louder, Tracy helps Georges up as fast as she can. They head to the exit. There are sounds of people stampeding and screaming outside the store. Georgia takes a deep breath in with Tracy beside her. As they move to exit the store, blackout.
Great job, you guys. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. And Sandra's already like changed one of my lines for me that I'm like so excited about.
Okay, everyone.
Thanks, you guys.
Jasmine, starting off the bat, is there anything you'd like the feedback to be focused on?
I'm just kind of, my brain is like a little bit like fried, frazzled, whatever. So the fact that they could do this at all was like really amazing. So thank you both for your focus and letting it drop in and everything. It really was super, super helpful. I've been tweaking this. It's an experience that I don't have. So I've definitely been trying to reach out to my BIPOC friends and get their thoughts on it in particular. Sandra brought up a really good point in the before, and I just kind of want to bring this up to everybody, just like I'm thinking about it, it's ruminating. But I really love the idea of incorporating a little bit more of Sandra's pride of her heritage, but also understanding that that comes with battles that, you don't necessarily get to choose. So I definitely wanted to let you know, I've been thinking about that. Yeah. So I don't know, any other feedback is good.
Okay. Hey, Severin, I know that you're in a rush, but as an actor, did you have anything you'd like to say? popcorn moments or any other, because I know that you have to run to the airport.
I mean, I can wait for a few minutes until we finish talking about this piece. At any rate, I'm a little distracted, to be honest. But I like what she's doing here. I like what Jasmine is doing. I'm excited about it. I noticed this in the previous piece too. It's telling to watch white people try to be good and miss a little bit. I appreciate that. I like watching white people trying to be good and missing.
We gotta impeach Kavanaugh if we take over the fucking Senate.
We're gonna ask the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I heard Josh. Your mic was on.
I did some.
Let's go to popcorn moments. What grabbed your attention? What was compelling? What images stay with you, visually or turns of phrases? What were the things that caught your attention? Carla, please.
I think Severin said it to some extent. It's just that struggle and that failure is inevitable, which is, I think, what Jasmine's piece is saying so well, like that and Sandra's character said so well, like she will never fully be able to understand, empathize with the lived experience of her child. And to see that failure and that struggle, I think was really compelling. And I want to say that I appreciate the fact that you talked to your BIPOC friends and like that you are going beyond your own personal perspective and experience in writing this and examining this. So yeah, that struggle, that moment in particular, when Sandra says you will never be able, was very striking because it's so true. Whatever one's intentions might be.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Monica.
Hi. Carla just hit on it. I think the line, and I wrote it down, was it's something our child will understand better than you, right? Was that it, Jasmine? That it felt like was the most weighted thing said in the whole scene, and almost needed more space around it. That I felt it it just dropped like an anvil, and that was the whole point of it, and it was really an important moment. And it was summed up by the very simple lines of, I want to be a better ally. It's clearly that's what her struggle is. But here's the interesting thing, and I love that you highlighted this thing that comes up a lot between people of color and those who have the racial privilege, is the discussion of, oh, but she'll be loved. I love you. It's all an issue of opting in to inclusivity, because when you have that privilege, you can just choose to be the one who's inclusive. And so that assuming that that's reflected, and I love that you made that kind of the pinnacle main part of the conversation, because what is missed by Tracy, and this conversation is just hitting her in the gut, is that it's not about the love, it's about the existence of the hate, because that's not something you can opt out of. It's always being a potential target, which is just a real burden for somebody when you're starting a family and you're in love and you're having this child, and that the opposite thing is what is the issue. And I love that you made it about, I don't know, an active shooter situation, that there's this imminent thing coming for them, which built out of this critical conversation, because it's almost like the same thing, right? So I love that you paired those together. So
thank you.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead, Mandy.
I just want, oh God, I just wish we were all in the same room right now.
I know. Oh my God.
Yeah, I just want to say, Jasmine, and I just want everyone to hear it, because I've got to hear so many of this piece, how much you've grown, and I just want to say how much I admire how much you're willing willing and trying and pushing constantly to go between ideas that are other than your own. And I guess because of everything that just happened, you know, just like that is what's important, and trying to tell stories that tell something bigger than yourself and asking the questions constantly has inspired me a lot in this moment. And so thanks. And I think this piece really does that. And I'm watching you grow, and I'm growing with you.
Thank you.
That's really nice. Thank you, Mandy.
Mandy.
Anyone else? I'd just like to say, before we move on to the next, Jasmine, this piece has grown, and I know it was a struggle for you to write. And I think that writing it from your experience, from your viewpoint, and trying to include and make it something that is about struggling to understand, especially in a situation where it's supposed to be about love, but it really isn't. I think that you've been very careful and therefore successful with the conversation that's happening.
Oh,
And
Rafe.
making,
Oh, I
yeah.
see people with their hands up. I'm excited about this.
Yes, no. So I, you know, as someone who's seen this piece for a while now, it's getting so great, and your instincts are kicking in as a writer, and you're really thoughtful, and I guess I'm saying what Mandy's saying. You're growing, and it's inspiring. Raphael, please go ahead.
Guys, thank you.
Yeah, no, I really appreciated, you know, because I think there is like a thing of some folks in interracial relationships or who have biracial children but are white, assuming that they automatically get that experience when they don't. So I really appreciate you like going right into the fact that like, no, you don't. And that line, like, yeah, there's things that my child will experience that I'll never experience or understand even, was really, I think, great for that. I wonder what their other conversations around this were before this moment. I wonder two things. I wonder why Sandra decides in this moment to bring this up, if something external or internal caused her to suddenly be like, wait, I'm freaked out because we haven't talked about everything yet, and what they have talked about around this, you know, because I think it's really interesting in a relationship where, yeah, like it can take years to hear everybody's stories, you know, even though you've been together years.
That's how you write the plays, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, right, yeah. But I also wonder in that, what have they talked about, so that maybe there are, the conversation is so like right on the edge of like sharing ideas. I wonder if there's like ideas to harken back to, like, well, I mean, I hear them talk about experiences that they had to get over and stuff like that, but I just wonder about like, has it been a struggle to get her to understand, or has it been, how easy has it been? Is this something that they dealt with, and maybe that's part of why Sandra's like, this is something you never got, and now I'm scared, or, you know, something. I just felt there's a little bit of I just wanted to see the relationship a little bit more, having already been an interracial couple for years.
Right.
You know,
That's great. That's really great feedback.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's so funny. She may change the character name to Sandra now.
I know, right? I might have.
Oh, is that? I didn't know. If I was like, I missed
well.
the character name. Everyone's saying Sandra.
Thank you. Hey, Marcus. Marcus, go ahead.
Oh wait, you're on mute, honey.
Oh, you're on mute, Marcus.
Thank you. So just real quick, I kind of want to second what Raphael was saying, to say that like being in an interracial relationship, the number of conversations that have happened before this moment, and like, so like, what other conversations have they had specifically about this child, and how those things come back into the moment is a thing that come back into this moment is something that I'm very curious about. And I also want to say, I also want to commend you for the willingness to explore a topic that that from the perspective from which you are writing it, I think it can be very divisive depending on the room that you are in, and the willingness to accept feedback in a space where like there is more, specifically what's going on in the world right now, the issues inside of this, all of them, even the active shooter thing, are incredibly charged, and but difficult conversations about things like that are harder to have. And the one other thing that I'm curious about, or that I want to say, is that, like, I do feel a little bit like potentially the moment of forgiveness feels a little too easy for me. Because I think the difficulty inside of this conversation, because it is an ongoing thing, feels like it gets resolved completely in this relationship in the moment. And I think that it's harder than that. I think that this conversation is harder and goes longer. And so if there's a way to explore that a little bit more yeah, that's, yes. Yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I can see Jasmine's head whizzing.
He was
Just
always like
swirling.
coming out of my ears. It's a thing, and you'll see a
Are there-
completely different draft next week, and my poor class is gonna be like, "Not again!"
No, we're loving this. We're loving this, Jasmine. Anybody else? I can open it up, actually, because that was a development. That was what would you like to see further developed? These are all good things. They're very helpful to a writer to try and help them to kind of, make it work, make it more honest, make it more compelling. So this is all good. Anybody else have a comment? Go ahead, Mandy.
I have a question, like an insight type thing. Just knowing the piece the way I do, and the way that you've been very specific about taking on different stories that lead up to this big moment, I keep finding myself every time I do it questioning what is the next moment. Because we've seen everything up until the point of the shooting, or the gunfire. And I'm finding myself more and more curious about, like, what is the moment after that, and what is it saying that it ends with the shooting?
Yeah, I have that in the finale pretty much, which is, yeah, right, David?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
should I give it away a little bit?
no, you don't need. No, that's fine. It's just something for you to hear, which is a good thing. Jen, did you have something to say? Jennifer Downs? Oh, she's so. Anybody else? Okay, let's move on. Not that I really want to. Huh?
I appreciate it very much. Thank you
Yeah.
all very much. This has been the hardest freaking scene ever. Thank you.
Okay, and now I'm gonna pick up my beer and drink a little because my piece is next. Dan?
Yes. Well, while you are lubricating, I will introduce your piece. This next
IPA.
California by David Adam Gill, I think is his last name. That's your last name, correct? Gill?
Yeah, Jill.
Jill. Okay, cool. So David, if you would like to say a couple words about your piece, you can introduce it now.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. So this is a piece I've been working on for a while, and it's a very personal kind of autobiographical piece, and I've had to push it away and then bring it back and push it away just so that I made it, I could keep chipping at it and making it what I needed it to be, not just for me, but for an audience. And so I'm going to leave it at that. The feedback that I want is going to be just, generally how it made you feel and things like that. So I really appreciate Susan and Miley doing this for me. It means a lot to me, and there's such wonderful actors, and David Michael Kirby reading stage direction. So that's it. Let's go. Deep breath.
California by David A. Gill. Natalie and Ma are in Natalie's bedroom. It's in a state of disarray as there are piles of clothes and bags with shoes and other items scattered about. Ma is sitting on Natalie's bed, folding clothing while Natalie moves around, packing her suitcase and other bags. Both women are in a state of tenterhooks.
have the sweater, right?
You can borrow it.
Ma?
What time is Martin coming?
Around 1.
Well, you better hurry. You're gonna hit traffic on the expressway.
So I can have the sweater.
I said you can borrow it.
I'll bring it back at Christmas.
Christmas? That's 6 months.
Isn't that long, Ma?
No. I'll need it before then.
Oh,
You'll have to come home sooner.
Mother,
It starts to get cold here in September.
you have other sweaters.
Not Robin's egg blue.
You never wear this one.
I wore it to lunch yesterday.
You told me you would give it to me.
I'm sorry, Natalie. It's not like anyone keeps their promises around here. Just take the sweater, but bring it back is all I ask.
Thank you.
I still don't see why you have to go so far away.
Ma,
Well, I don't.
because that's where Martin's sister and uncle live?
But your family's all here.
He has a job opportunity there, and I'll be going to school.
You were going to school here. He can find a job here.
Can't get a break here, Ma. Too many people know him.
Well, that sets a mother's mind at ease.
Let's not do this now. Can't we be okay with this, please?
I am okay. Don't forget to give me the check before you leave.
Natalie takes a life-sized doll dressed in a polka dot bathing suit out of a large plastic garbage bag.
Ma, look.
Oh, that's awful.
You gave her to me.
I gave you Grandma's doll and the bathing suit separately. You were the one with the terrible taste the dresser in it.
This is the first bathing suit we ever bought together.
A bikini on a 5-year-old. I should have put my foot down, but you put up such a fuss.
You were so behind the times.
That may be so. It's still awful.
I want to give her to my daughter. When I have one. That's why I've been saving her.
That's very nice. But I would prefer my granddaughter not to run around in a 20-year-old bathing suit with a frayed bottom.
Not what I meant.
God, you wore it threadbare. Look at that. At one point, you could see your fat little backside through the material.
You made me wear shorts over it.
Ugh, how you used to fight me, good Lord, screaming and stomping away. I will never forget what Mrs. Idlebaum said to me.
I know what Mrs. Idlebaum said to you. Maggie.
If you weren't standing right beside me, I'd swear you were across the street beating the devil out of that child. I was so embarrassed.
I was a terror, I know. My daughter will probably behave the same way.
It's a mother's revenge of sorts that her grandchildren behave as badly toward their parents as they behave toward them. In any event, you will have plenty of time to make it up to me.
Might be sooner than you think.
Natalie, please don't rush into things so quickly. Not with Martin.
Why won't you give him a chance?
He tries too hard. Oh, he's so charming.
Of course he tries too hard. You intimidate him. Acting so irritated whenever he's around, clicking your tongue and sighing. It's almost cartoon-like.
I don't.
I swear to God, Ma, it'd be funny if it weren't so cruel.
Natalie leaves the room to find something. Ma sits on the chair with the doll in her lap, looking thoughtful.
Your father was a charmer. They start out that way, but they change. Where are your brothers? I told Robert to be home half an hour ago. Natalie!
Oh no!
Robert looks so much like him, it frightens me.
Ma, where's my navy blue and orange shirt? From Purchase, with the stripes.
It happens a little at a time, this transformation from Jekyll to Hyde.
Here it is, never mind.
You hardly notice it at first, and then suddenly they are not the same person that you married.
Ma, is my other brown sandal out there?
Looking for the sandal, Ma spots it under her foot and holds it up. Natalie enters the room with one sandal and takes the other from Ma.
Did I tell you, a few weeks ago, he called me from work asking for Deborah or Debbie, some cutesy name.
No.
I said, "This is your wife, Phil." And he got flustered and tried to make a joke out of it.
Are you sure? Fuck me.
Language.
Ma, that's terrible.
I was glad about it. The more he makes me despise him, the better.
Ma has been folding and smoothing the robin's egg blue sweater when she feels something in the pocket. She takes a small slip of paper from it and reads it. She laughs.
What is it?
It's my fortune from lunch yesterday.
What does it say?
Stupid. One of those trite sayings.
And why are you crying?
Natalie takes the fortune from Ma and reads aloud.
Rarely do great beauty and virtue dwell together as they do in you.
I used to be attractive. People used to like me.
Still are.
I don't recognize myself anymore. I look in the mirror and I see a shrill, angry old woman with lines, ugly lines all over.
Don't get upset. We only have 15 minutes.
I'm sorry, I know. You better get me that check before we forget.
Natalie finds her purse throughout the following speech and rummages through it for the check.
He was so handsome, your father. And we were such good friends. Did I ever tell you?
Yes.
We didn't even date until a year after we met because we were such good friends. We had fun. We used to laugh all the time.
It wasn't all bad.
Well, no, he didn't drink back then. Just now and then, socially, not at all like now.
I can't imagine.
I could have married another young man who ended up becoming the president of the Bank of America. Donald Schumacher.
I know.
She hands Ma the check and waits for her reaction. Ma is not pleased.
I thought it would be more, but I needed money for the trip.
This isn't even enough for my utilities. You promised.
You didn't expect me to drive across the country without any money.
That boy is taking you far away. He can pay for you.
He doesn't have any money either.
He is taking advantage of you, Natalie.
I don't see it that way.
This leaves me completely strapped, even with what Adam and Russell give me from washing dishes.
Get the money from Daddy.
You know he doesn't give me anything.
I already asked him and he said he would give it to you.
Oh, isn't that cute?
He just wants you to ask him for it.
I will not beg.
Just ask him.
Imagine having to beg to pay bills.
He has it. He will give it to you.
That's not good enough.
It has to be. I'm leaving today. In 12 minutes. You can't expect me to change all my plans because you and Daddy fight about money. It's not fair.
She puts the sweater in the suitcase.
I want my sweater back. You can't have it.
Why are you doing this?
You can't have my luggage either.
Ma and Natalie wrestle with the suitcase.
Leave it alone. You're spilling my clothes.
I bought this luggage. You can't use it.
It was my going away present.
I changed my mind.
Take it then. I don't care.
You abandon your family for some boy?
He's not some boy. Christ.
You've known him a month.
We went to high school together.
I don't trust him. He's Hispanic and I don't trust him.
Don't you dare, Mother. You don't even know him.
I know enough.
The great paramour of liberal thinking.
There's a reason he can't get a job around here.
That happened a long time ago. He's not that person anymore.
People never really change, Natalie. They lay dormant for long periods of time and they make you believe they've changed, but they never really do.
I don't believe that.
Well, that's your first mistake.
I'm not you.
Go to hell.
Natalie releases her grip on the suitcase.
Fine. I'll use plastic trash bags.
No, you don't.
Get out of my way, Mother.
I bought those bags.
With the money I've been giving you. I have nothing saved. I've been working 6 months at that stupid restaurant and I have absolutely nothing saved because I've given it all to you. And now you're telling me I can't use the plastic bags you bought with my money?
Now you sound like your bastard of a father.
Well, now I know why he sounds the way he does.
Ma slaps Natalie's face.
I want you out of my house.
I can't pack fast enough.
Now, out of my house.
Ma tries to push Natalie out through the bedroom door.
Leave me the fuck alone! You follow me around like a fucking shadow, this dark shadow chasing me the fuck around!
I told you to watch your language! Oh, damn it all! I want to die!
Here we go.
I just want to curl up and die!
That's just great.
I hate you and your father, and I am so tired of all this crap!
He does this to you.
I can't do everything myself.
He turned you into this crazy woman, and I'm the one. I gotta get out of here.
Natalie starts gathering her things.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Ma, you need help.
That's what you were for.
You have 6 other children. Robert.
You're the oldest. You're the one I counted on.
Leave too then.
How can I leave? I don't have any money.
You have this house. Half of it is yours. Sell it and leave.
This garbage dump? It's falling in on itself.
Let it then.
The roof is gonna fall in and kill us all.
This is pathetic.
And you'll be in California when it happens.
You'd rather me right here under all the debris with the rest of the family. No survivors.
You drunken bastard of a father won't lift a finger to help. He just sits on his ass and he gets potted and he collects garbage.
God forbid one of us should survive this family.
I am so sick of wine bottles hidden everywhere. Half-empty wine bottles hidden all over the house. Gallon jugs of cheap wine and little bowls of cheese doodles. For me, he says, cheese doodles for me? The jackass.
Why won't you leave him?
I'm not you, Natalie. I won't just abandon my family.
It's a question of survival. For God's sakes, Ma.
And what if I did? What then?
Find a job?
With what skills? What job experience? The goddamn PTA?
Raise 7 children. You're not exactly inexperienced.
Raising kids is not job experience.
Of course it is.
I was the best mother I could be.
I didn't say you weren't.
But you and your brothers did things that drove me crazy, and it has gone so I have no patience anymore.
I know you tried your best, Mama. We all know that.
Now you shit all over me.
Who shit all over who?
You came home to be here for me, remember? Oh, Mama, don't worry. I'll help you out with the house. Oh, Mama, don't worry. I will be here for you when you need me.
I tried.
Bull! Natalie is only here for Natalie. That's all there is to it. And pity the poor person who depends on her for anything, because if you are not Natalie, you're no one important.
It's not fair. I came home to change things if I could, but I just got sucked into the private war, the constant fighting all the time about stupid little things, most of it, and I'm trapped in the middle, the recipient of this unendurable torture.
You came home from me. I expected you to support me.
What am I supposed to do? He's my father. And all this financial, I give you almost all the money I make, and still you begrudge me the few dollars I do keep.
Go to hell.
Ma, you don't treat me very well. I know you don't mean to, but it's the truth.
Go.
Daddy promised he'd start giving you money for the bills again. He promised.
Yes, he always promises. My problem is he never keeps his promise. My problem is the bastard is still alive.
Why won't you just try? Maybe it will be different this time.
Oh, Natalie. This has been my life now for the past 25 years. Don't you think I know?
Ma, as much as you feel Daddy is the problem, part of the problem is you. It's as though you need to argue and fight to make it through the day. It fuels you.
You know that is not true. I'd have left your father years ago if it wasn't for word for
us. Say it. Who you were and what you could have been if you hadn't married Daddy, if you hadn't had us. Mrs. Donald Shoemaker, wife of the president of Bank of America. That's a lot of guilt to place on the shoulders of your children. What did you want from us? To what end did you expect from such a heavy expression of martyrdom?
I never claimed to be a martyr.
Even so, that's how we all, no, I won't speak for my brothers, but that's how I perceived it. Drummed into me like a jackhammer for as long as I can remember. Well, who am I? What can I become? I have those complaints too, Mama.
I tried to leave your father, remember? And you wouldn't come. You and Robert didn't want to leave, and so you stayed.
You couldn't expect me to give up my senior year in high school and go to some city school.
It was selfish. And Adam was doing so well, finally. It broke his heart to have to come back here.
We were fine. You didn't have to come back.
And leave you and your brother alone with him? Robert was getting worse. Look at him now, for God's sakes, a drunk, just like his father. No, Natalie, that was not the best solution.
Yes, it was! If you were really serious about leaving him.
Don't raise your voice to me, Natalie Bowman. I think about it now, and it wasn't worth it. Giving up my life for you kids, it wasn't worth it.
Lovely.
It's what you said about high school. I feel the same way about my life.
You don't get it, do you? I stay out all night drinking, Then I wake up in the morning not remembering how the hell I got the car into the driveway, forget how I actually was able to navigate my way home. And do I have to point out that I am absolutely no help to you around here? Has that gone unnoticed?
No, it hasn't.
I sleep all day, I wake up, I'm hungover, you yell at me for not getting up earlier, for breaking our plans, for breaking promises. Hell, Ma, you yell at me so much, I think it'd be a relief for you if I left.
Go then. I don't care anymore.
I wish you wouldn't care. Stopped caring about me a long time ago.
Oh, poor Natalie has problems. Well, kiddo, join the club.
You're not listening to me.
Wait till you have a husband who starts taking away from your life. Wait till you have children who take the rest of what's left. And never, ever do you get anything in return.
This is not just happening to you, though, is it?
Please leave.
I'm trying to tell you that I'm dying, and you start on about what lousy kids we were and what a lousy husband my father is. Well, I'm sorry we were such needy little brats, but you gave life to 6 of us, whatever your reasons. We didn't ask for it, and I'm sorry Daddy's a lousy husband, but you know what? He's a lousy father too. So what you need is a better daughter, which I apparently failed at miserably, and a much better husband, which I cannot be. I cannot be. I cannot occupy that position in your life. So go ahead and kill yourself. Think you'll be much happier.
Go to hell, Natalie.
Why? Because I'm finally being supportive? More so than you have ever been to any one of us, most of all me.
Oh, that's right. Tell me what a shitty childhood you had. Blame it on me.
Why not? It's no secret. I didn't turn out okay, Ma. I'm scared for my life. Why can't I make you understand? And Martin is the best thing to happen to me in forever. I can't tell you what it means to have someone like him in my life.
I never had that.
I'm sorry, but at least be happy for me that I do.
Growing up in your grandparents' house, to see them together, knowing how much they belonged together, I was unprepared. Grandpa always treated Mama with so much love and respect. And I expected that from your father and more. You come from a house of love, and we always had food on the table, even during the hardest times. He was such a good provider, your grandfather. Would rather go without himself before letting his family suffer. So yes, I wanted those things for me and my children. Of course I did.
You were right too, Mama.
Maybe I didn't fight hard enough.
I don't think fighting hard enough was ever an issue with you and Daddy.
No, I guess it wasn't.
I'm terrified that I'll become him. I'm halfway there. What if makes me so sad to see some of my girlfriends with their fathers, to watch them together, find myself in the midst of such a profound sadness.
Natalie. So your father is overrun with faults, as I am the first to admit. I do not deny that that man loves you as much as he knows how. When you were born, you know the pictures upstairs in the plastic cube on my bureau? He's wearing that red hunting cap, and he's holding you up in the air with such pride in his eyes. And you're what? Not a few weeks old. You're just a fat little face all bundled up and laughing. You were the love of his life.
I don't remember ever being the light of anyone's life.
Ma touches Natalie's shoulder.
He even stopped drinking when you were born. He tried, at least. I give him that.
I was at a party in the city about a month ago. Sheila McManus. You remember Sheila from Somerset Drive? Anyway, we had a big fight, Ma, you and me.
You and I.
Didn't bring the car home so you could get to the A&P or something because I went out for a drink after my class. You were so pissed at me and you had every right to be, I know.
I had to ask Mrs. Idlebound to loan me the car. They give us so much as it is. I was embarrassed.
I know, and I knew, and I didn't care.
Selfish.
Please let me finish. I didn't care. Listen to me for a change. That night, I hitchhiked to the train station because you wouldn't drive me. And I went into the city to this party at Sheila's in the East Village, and I got drunk. I was so angry at you for not understanding anything about me, and at Daddy for being who he is and always getting away with it. I was mad at the asshole who drove me to the train and grabbed my ass as I got out of the car. I was pissed at the cab driver for going down Broadway when I knew Ninth Avenue would be quicker. I was mad at Sheila for knowing so many people. I got to the party, and everyone did something to make me even angrier, grated on me, every last nerve, to the point where I couldn't drink enough to bury myself. My hurt. Made me understand Daddy a little bit more too. I'm not saying I know what drives him to drink the way he does, but why he drinks, maybe. I don't even remember most of the night at all because I blacked out completely. I do remember waking up the next morning on the top of some building that was not Sheila's building, not even a foot from the edge of the roof, my blouse unbuttoned, and my shoes off, and not caring. I remember that too. Remember Emily Burton? She got hit by that hot dog vendor's cart.
Oh, that was terrible. What happened to her?
Freak accident. One moment she's walking down the street, and the next she's paralyzed from the neck down.
How quickly life can turn on you.
I used to wish it had been me.
Natalie, that isn't funny. That girl has to spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair.
Me that got hit by the hot dog cart. Me that was paralyzed from the neck down. But you know something, Ma? I am paralyzed from the neck down. That's how I feel. That's what my life has become.
Has it?
It's either move to California and live, or stay here in New York and die. Which would you have for me?
So far away.
I know. I'm scared. Ma?
I keep thinking why things turn out the way they do.
Stop. You can't do anything to change Daddy. God knows you spent your entire lifetime trying. But Martin is not Daddy. He hasn't started out as Mr. Perfect, and he knows it. He's rough around the edges. Hell, he's downright frayed. But unlike Daddy, I've already seen Martin at his worst, at his lowest. We've already shared deep sorrow and pain, and yet we still want to make a life together. You see his potential and see how kind he is and how he cares for me, as flawed and sad a person as I am. There's nowhere to go but up in this scenario, Ma. And I am embracing it. Hell, I'm holding on to it for dear life.
A doorbell rings off stage. Natalie and Ma exchange looks of surprise. Then Ma starts quickly packing. Natalie joins her. The doorbell rings again.
I'll finish this. Go let Martin in. I'll be right down with the suitcase.
Ma?
Ma hands Natalie the sweater.
Go. You'll bring it home at Christmas.
I said I would.
Please keep your promise. I don't know what I'll do if you don't.
I love you so much. I do.
Just as Natalie moves to embrace Ma, the doorbell rings again, and we hear knocking on a screen door. Ma pushes Natalie away.
Go.
Coming!
Natalie exits. Ma sits on the bed, emotionally spent. Spying the fortune on the floor, she picks it up and reading it, fights back tears. Taking up the doll, she embraces it, opens the suitcase, and places her inside. Standing, she surveys the room. Remembering the check Natalie gave her, she takes one last look at it, tears it into pieces, and slips it into the suitcase before zipping it closed. Taking up the suitcase, she stands in the middle of the room, unsure what to do next. The sad expression on her face, after a moment of inner struggle, turns to one of fierce determination. Inhaling deeply, she takes a step forward toward the door as the lights quickly fade to black. The end.
Thank you, guys. Okay, that's a comedy. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really, really appreciate you guys doing that. Jen Downs is going to be the curator of this feedback portion.
Happily lead this for you, David. Is there anything that you want to focus the feedback on, or anything you're looking for in particular with this piece?
No, I just general, answering the questions, it will help me considerably. Thank you.
So if anybody has any immediate thoughts, we like to start out with popcorn thoughts. So moments that stuck with you, things that jumped right out at you from this piece. Mandy?
The line that Miley's character had as the child of an alcoholic, saying what drives him to drink and why he drinks, and the fact that those are two different things in her brain, stuck out to me.
Raphael?
Yeah, I really just like the layering, particularly with the mother character, just because it was so much, when you fight with your parents like that, there's so much like love behind it, but the layers of like being right and being wrong and being angry about one thing and being mistreated themselves, but then still mistreating their children themselves. There was just all the really complex layering was just so right on and true that it was just really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, painfully good, David. Does anybody else have any more popcorn moments? I have one.
Oh, sorry.
I have one, the line, the more he makes me despise him, the better. That was just she has so many, the mother has so many of those lines that are just such a gut punch, but then some of them feel particularly manipulative, specifically towards Natalie, just trying to hurt her. But that one felt like accidentally extremely truthful. Carla?
There were a lot of popcorn moments for imagery. A lot of imagery really stood out. So like Raphael was saying, like it was very nuanced and layered. And I felt like a lot of that came from the memory and moments that lived in that doll and in that photograph with the father. Like just really these like incredibly vivid stories that present a history that's much larger than the moment we're witnessing. So for me, popcorn moments were those images, those objects, whether it was a photograph or the doll, really stood out for me.
Absolutely. DMK?
I was just gonna say, I've done this a few times, and it really strikes me every single time when she talks about the photo cube on her bureau and that plastic thing. And it's like, I know I've seen that before. I couldn't tell you where I've seen it before, but it is so vivid to me in the description that it's like, I know that we have all seen that somewhere in our life. And I'm sure it was my grandmother somewhere, but it hits me every time. And I think that's just a snapshot, a scintilla of what great writing and imagery has created in this whole scene and the history between these two women in these 15 minutes.
Yeah. Monica, did you have your hand raised? Was that it?
Monica, you're muted.
I was like seconding what David was saying.
Gotcha. We only have a couple minutes left. Susan.
One thing that really, a line that really stands out for me is when the mother says, I think about it now, and it wasn't worth it. Giving up my life for you kids, it wasn't worth it. I think that I'm sure there are a lot of us. I know that my mother said something similar when I was probably about 12 or 13. And this idea exactly what she said was, I only get satisfaction from my work. I don't get it from my family. And so I think that there are a lot of us that have that experience. You know, the typical dysfunctional family, whether it's an alcoholic or a food addict or whatever the substance of choice is, where a parent lacks that inner editor and just says shit to, whether it's a child, which was in my case, or an adult child, that is something that should not ever be said aloud. Even if that's what you are thinking, you have no business. You have no business saying that, whether it's to a child or anybody else. You keep shit like that to yourself. But because of the circumstance, there's a lack of editor, you know, in the internal editor. And so putting that truth of that in there and allowing that kind of line to be in there, I think will, for probably 2/3 of any audience, is going to just, you know, really hit home for people. And so that particular line stands out as a popcorn moment to me because I think it's so real.
Absolutely.
So very real.
Absolutely. We're out of time for feedback, but I just want to remind everybody, both on YouTube and in the Zoom chat, that the form for further feedback is being put consistently, and you can specifically say that it's for David's piece, because this is a whole piece, correct, David?
Yes, it's a beginning to end.
Yeah, so I think that this is a really good opportunity to use that feedback form to really form full thoughts, the questions, the development, because you can see it in its entirety. So please use that feedback form.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciated. Thank you. I know it probably wasn't the night to do it on, but we didn't know that. Okay.
I actually have to go, so thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. Thank you.
Great performance.
Yeah, love you. All right, Dan, take it away.
Okay, so before we move along, I just want to give a little quick announcement, just to kind of bounce off of what Jennifer said before. The feedback form has been posted in the chat, both on YouTube and in our Zoom meeting here. And I know that Erin is doing a fantastic job. She also posted, where is it here? I can't find it now. She also posted a link to register to vote if you guys are not registered to vote. So I would encourage all of you to tell your friends and family members just to make sure they are registered to vote, because it is now more important than ever. And moving right along, we are now going to move into Miss Mandy Murphy's piece. This is a Southwestern story by Mandy Murphy. Mandy, what do you got for us?
Dan, I got stuff. Hi, everybody. This is a selection from a piece of mine called The Southwestern Story, which I've presented a few times more than a few times, to be honest, at New Ambassadors. They've been the blood, or the heart pumping the blood through the veins of this play to help it grow and be what it can be. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like maybe like everyone else, I'm feeling like the pressure to be like extra freaking, I'm not gonna curse, great right now because of like the RBG just like flowing through my veins. And so a quote that I was trying to remember of hers, and so I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of you, I maybe checked my Insta feed or Googled it or did whatever, and I'm just gonna read it real quick because it rings true to at least where I'm going, and I hope where a lot of y'all are going as artists, and the fact that we're still fighting for art, even if it's on Zoom or wherever the hell it is fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you, whether it's on Zoom or whatever it is. And this is my little piece of that with some amazing artists that are gonna do it for me tonight. So let me introduce them. Please cast them, give them money, let them do art for you, just like me. David Michael Kirby is reading my stage directions, my warrior, my fighter for me. Andrew DeTusa is debuting here at New Ambassadors tonight. There he is, he's reading Gabriel, wonderful, wonderful. Evan Edwards is reading Pedro tonight. He has read multiple pieces or characters for me in this piece before. Chase Naylor is reading MK tonight. He has a beard and he's moving a bag. There he is. He's also read multiple characters. Thank you, Chase. Andrew Griffin's out in LA holding it down. He's reading Butch tonight. Luis Alberto Quintero is in Houston, Texas, reading Travis tonight. And Raquel Valiente, my queen, is reading Selena. Thank you guys so much for reading for me tonight. This is the opening scene of this play, so I'm not going to give you much. I really want first impressions, and what you're curious about is what I'm most curious about. So thank you, everyone. Here I go. Take it away, crew.
Lights up on an old parking lot next door to an empty brick building at the end of Main Street. A bent stop sign marks the corner where the crosswalk has also been worn down. The concrete car stoppers in the lot are chipped and broken, and the lines painted on the asphalt can barely be seen. Large patches of wild grass are littered throughout it. The only car is a Ford Super Duty F-350 with chrome/black wheels and a lift kit. Music bumps from subwoofers in the cab of the truck. Travis, 16, sits in the driver's seat with the door open, scrolling through his phone. Gabe, 15, and Selena, 14, sit on the tailgate, her leg over his.
Yo, where the fuck are they?
It's like 1 minute after. Chill.
Is he always late?
I just buy my bud from him, man. I don't know.
I swear, if that little bitch even looks at me, I'm a bit his ass.
Why'd you even come then?
Not my fault you pendejos buy your butt from some old redneck and his stupid little inbred friend or cousin or whatever.
Get your girl, man.
Baby, come on. It's not.
Get his girl? You buy your own drugs and so you can talk like that now?
He's just fucking around.
I'm kidding. Chill. Jesus.
Gabe grabs Selena and pulls her close to him.
You're so sexy when you're pissed.
Who's pissed? He's just...
Two.
No.
Sí. Dame un beso.
Selena and Gabe sloppily kiss.
I can hear how nasty that looks.
What? You want some? That's why you acting that way?
Hell no.
You can't talk to me like that tomorrow, you know? My birthday, my quince, you fuck off.
Hey, Selena.
Okay, Selena.
I got an early birthday present for you. Over here.
Oh, yeah?
That's right.
Okay.
This dick.
Stop.
Or what?
Or I'll fuck you up too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Gabe pushes Selena against the truck and presses his hips into her backside.
Then why are you the one against the truck?
You're such a man, huh?
Yep.
Then where's your dick?
Selena reaches for Gabe's crotch. Gabe lightly shoves her aside.
Mierda.
Yay.
Tú sabes que estás hablando de mi verga and shit.
Ay, baja el tonito de voz, Gabriel.
No me digas.
Baja el tono de voz.
No quiero hablar contigo.
Oh, no.
Y'all, seriously, chill out or someone's gonna call the sheriff.
You don't even know what we're saying.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, what?
What?
What did we say since you know Spanish all of a sudden?
I know someone's gonna call your dad if y'all don't act like crazy beaners.
Daddy won't care. I'm his little princesa.
Who he put you on house arrest for 3 months. If we get caught, I go on probation and then I don't play ball next week. So just chill, okay?
Coach got your balls, man.
Gabe tries to sweetly grab Selena by the hip. She smacks his hand.
What?
No me toques.
Man, where the fuck are they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Should I text them?
When does Julissa get back?
Today sometime? Should I?
What time? She better have been practicing my dance. And if she finally got tits this year and don't fit in this dress, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Don't talk about her like that.
Like what?
Just don't.
You want me to buy the bud, man? It's cool.
The sound of a truck pulling up can be heard. All three of them look in its direction. As they register who it is, all of their demeanors become more serious and still. The engine to the car cuts off and multiple doors are heard opening and closing. MK, 27, enters, followed by Butch, 17, smoking a cigarette. MK stops a ways from the truck. Travis looks at Gabe and then walks to MK. Butch hangs back and stares at Selena.
Hey, man.
Yeah, Councilman's kid?
Marco's my uncle. Can we make it an ounce instead?
What are we doing here, Gabe?
Gabe comes to meet the two.
He's cool, man. Selena's quince is tomorrow, so we need more. He's good for it.
Or what?
Birthday. It's a party.
What? We're not invited to the fiesta?
Butch winks at Selena.
Butch, shut the fuck up.
Can I help you?
All I got's your quarter.
When can I get the rest?
Excuse me?
He doesn't. Can we just get it later, man?
I can get it to you tomorrow.
Straight.
MK laughs at Travis.
All right, kiddo. 50 for the quarter.
Travis glares at MK and then casually hands him a $50 bill. MK stealthily takes the money and hands Travis a bag of weed. Butch stares at Selena.
You got a problem?
What?
Want to try looking somewhere else other than my girlfriend's ass?
Sorry, I don't speak Spanish.
Hey!
What the fuck you just say?
He's just a little bitch, babe. Butch the bitch.
Selena laughs.
Your fucking mother named you Butch.
Fuck you.
Selena jumps off of the truck and advances on Butch.
Don't think I won't fight you, little boy.
Oh, I knew you liked it rough.
Don't fucking stop.
Gabe puts an arm around Selena's waist and pulls her back.
Baby, come on.
What the fuck, man? She was just about to get on her knees and start sucking.
Gabe turns and punches Butch in the face. Butch comes at Gabe and tries to tackle him. They lock up, each of them trying to get a hit on the other.
Butch!
Hey!
Fuck him up, baby.
MK and Travis pull the guys apart.
Let me get in there.
What? What? You
No,
scared?
another time, man. Another
Get me
time,
in the
dude.
fucking face.
Scared of your little Butch bitch?
Yo, get your boy, MK.
A police siren blips once as a car is heard pulling up. A door is heard opening and Pedro enters in full police uniform except for a raggedy ball cap on his head.
Let's go.
Shit.
Are you fucking stupid?
It's fine. Papa!
Selena runs to Pedro and wraps her arm around him. He hugs her with one arm without taking his eyes off of the boys.
Everything okay over here, boys?
Yes, sir.
We were just headed out, Sheriff.
Michael Kelly, right?
Yes, sir. Friends call me MK.
Drive safe, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, y'all.
MK and Butch exit.
Friends with Butch Murley and Michael Kelly now?
Butch goes to school with us.
He's in my grade.
Oh, so that was a friendly fight I saw when I was driving up.
Pedro stares at them. They don't speak.
Am I gonna like what I find if I look in that truck? Gift from your friend?
We didn't. There's
Put
nothing.
it in my hand
Pedro
now,
sticks out his hand.
and it never happened.
Travis and Gabe look at each other.
Papi, I'm sorry. It's my fault. I wanted to try some weed for my birthday, and the guys were just doing it for me, but we didn't get any. Te juro. I'm sorry. It was stupid, pero no es su culpa. Te juro, papi, it was just for tomorrow.
Pedro looks at Selena and then back at the boys.
You two head to Marco's and start helping put the tent up for tomorrow. I'll meet you there. Comprende?
Sí, señor Pedro.
Travis, comprendes?
What?
You understand me?
Yes, sir.
You, get in the car.
I can't put up the tent. I just got my nails done, and
You're going home, and you're not leaving that house until I drive you to the party tomorrow myself. Comprendes?
what about the dance rehearsal tonight?
You can do it in the backyard.
No, we can't.
You're doing outside tomorrow, so you can practice outside tonight.
On a dance floor, it's not the same.
Selena! You two go. Don't let me beat you there.
Yes, sir.
Gabe and Travis jump into the truck. Travis turns the ignition and the muffler rumbles. They drive off.
We can't practice outside, Papi. If they don't practice right now, you know one of them's gonna mess it up, and I don't.
You're lucky I let you have the party at all. I get a call from Linda at the bank across the street that you're sticking your tongue down these boys' throats out here. Out in the middle of everywhere where people can see. Your mother is rolling in her grave with all of this. People know you're my daughter, Selena. What were you thinking? You think you're grown now because of your party. If Marco and Andrea wasn't paying for this whole thing, you'd be shit out of luck, mijita. I'd call it right now. Lo digo en serio.
That's not fair.
You need to be more grateful.
You're just mad because you couldn't afford it without them.
You're right. So I'll call them and tell them to cancel, eh?
No.
Get in the car. Start texting your friends to come to the house tonight. I'll be home at 7, so tell them then.
I told them 8.
Well, then change it. Let's go.
Ugh.
Vamos!
Lights fade as they exit. End excerpt.
Come back, everybody.
2 things. Raquel, wait until your daughter gets to be that age. Oh my God. Or I'm sorry, your child gets to be that age. I'm sorry. Holy cow, that was wonderful. And Evan, someone said you won the internet tonight, and you did. That was amazing. Really, 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 really well done and very enjoyable. We are going to have a feedback session. Okay, so do you have anything, Mandy Murphy, playwright, that you would like us to focus on for this feedback?
I would like to take 1 second to have each of them wave one more time so we can say their name and their faces be on the dang internet. Raquel Valiente, wave your hands. Reading Selena. Evan Edwards. Chase Naylor. Andrew Kitusa. Andrew Griffin. Luis Alberto Quintero. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? Where am I?
Stage directions.
And David Michael Kirby, my love. Awesome. Besides that, yeah, this is, like I said, Act 1, Scene 1. So popcorn is great. And anything anyone's super curious about, let your imagination run. I'm ready for it.
Okay, so we are going to start with what we call popcorn moments, as you already know. What grabbed your attention? What was compelling? What images stay with you? Turns of phrases? Anyone? Go ahead, Jennifer Downs.
The moment where where Selena was pushed up against the truck, just the way that it was described, there was something so because it's such like an inherently menacing moment to me, but there was something that remained playful in the world about it. So I wasn't very frightened for her, even though me personally, I would have a much different reaction to that. So I thought that was like an interesting moment where I was both pulled out and then pulled right back in.
Awesome, thank you.
I have to say one of my things that I love about this piece, and especially about Selena and Raquel, again, you rocked it, is the fact that she's such a bully. I mean, she pushes everyone around, and then when Daddy shows up, she's like, oh, come on, please, it was my fault, and please, oh, that's not fair. She turns into, the whimpering teenager who thinks that she has Daddy wrapped around her finger. But with these guys, she was such a, she was basically calling the shots. At least that's how it felt to me. And I found that very interesting and fun. Raphael Jordan.
I really love the opening image. I love plays that are set like outside and daytime, and it really made me excited to like see what all was gonna go down in this like gritty exterior. I could feel like the sun and the sand, and definitely reminded me of times of being like that age, hanging out in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. Jennifer Downs. You have
Bradley,
to turn.
Bradley.
I'm sorry, Jennifer. Oh my God, I'm looking right at you.
They're both
The
great.
old woman. Can
That's
you please
okay.
give me your feedback, old woman?
No worries. First, to piggyback on what Raphael just said, I definitely got a feeling of, oh yeah, teenagers are dangerous. That was definitely one thing that I felt, and I was like, this, it's like you see the scene and I'm like, there's just too much potentially going wrong here. And the first time I felt it was when the boys started egging her on and picking into her. And she's like, oh yeah. And I was like, dang girl, talk about playing with danger. You know, I didn't feel that anything would happen, but I was like, boy, this is like so on the edge. And then again, when the two camps meet each other, I was like, they're gonna, and then all of a sudden when the father comes in, I was like, oh shit. And I love the fact that this is, you said, the first scene of the play. I am so in for the journey. It was like dangling all this bait. It's like, it's gonna be a little treacherous tonight. Just to get that? Did you get that? Still getting it? Okay. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very dynamic opening, Mandy. I'm sorry, Virginia.
Yeah, Jen, you and I are so on the same wavelength here. I could feel the latent menace and that Selena appeared to be oblivious to. I don't know if she knew the kind of danger she was kind of drawing out of the situation. But when those other boys showed up, I had real fear, which she didn't. So either she's got balls of brass, or she's not smart. But I don't think it's the latter. I think she can just brazen her way out of anything. But
I think we should all watch out for the Selenas of the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But and yeah, she was a little manipulator, and she's a very, very skillful player. Can't wait to see where she winds up.
Thank you, Jenny.
Dan, did you have a comment?
I actually have two quick comments. First and foremost, Andrew DeTusa, great job. I know you're not fluent in Spanish. You did a phenomenal job with that. So just props to you for that, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Second, Mandy, I've seen a couple different scenes from this. I've seen a lot of it before, so I'm very familiar with the piece. And the one thing that always sticks out to me is how natural the dialogue in this piece is. I think a lot of times playwrights can get very wordy and just kind of word vomit dialogue on the page. But with this specifically, the dialogue feels very true to life and true to age for all of the characters. So I think you did a fantastic job with that.
Thanks, Dan.
David Kirby.
I think that going back to what Dan said is that there's something in the characters and the language that from the very beginning that speaks to an authenticity of their voices, that there's no doubt from my perspective watching this story unfold and these characters being introduced to these characters, that they are authentic and know who they are and the world that they inhabit. And I'm totally bought in from the beginning.
Alex.
I know it's a Southwestern story technically, but I'm from Northern California, and this is unfortunately exactly how we all spoke to each other when we were teenagers. And you captured that perfectly, and there's just like this really great musical rhythm to your dialogue, which was already said. But of course, that is not just the job of the writer and also the performers, who I want to congratulate, because that was just super impressive the entire way through. And since it's only it's a work in progress, just excited to see where it goes.
Thanks, Alex.
I was going to call you Travis. Luis.
Yeah, so after reading it now live, I found that I got really excited, kind of like what the old woman said.
Jennifer Bradley, everyone.
One who's not Jennifer
Bradley
Downs.
Which was like, there's so much exposition that's happening at such a fast-paced, dynamic way that I don't even mind. Like, I'm actively interested in learning about the rules of this new world. And I love that it, as Raphael said, it has this sun in the sand, which kind of like brings me back to like the Shakespearean classics of like people chilling outside, and there's young love, and there's sex, and there's danger, and there's guards, and knives out, you know, like anything can happen. And so when I like have the line about don't talk about my sister just that way when she's developing tits, I think is the line. I can totally see that Tybaltian like protectiveness over Juliet to be like, don't talk about my sister. You can be in my group, but don't talk about it that way. And it just kind of sets up to be like, well, Julissima, who's the party's not even for, you know, is just talked about in this scene. So it just really sets up like a great modern, I don't know, epic of that like parallels with such classic tales. I'm like really excited to see how it finds specificity in the Southwest, because you know that's where I'm from. So
Mandy,
I'm excited to like see where it goes. You know,
Mandy, does he even know?
He doesn't. We have a few people who have never been introduced to this piece tonight. It just
Okay,
feels so.
wow, you just drilled an oil.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I drilled a sculpture.
A gusher.
Oh.
Oil well.
Oh, thank
He's
you.
making
Oh,
a
yes.
Texas joke.
Oh,
We-
yeah. How Texan?
Hello, YouTube world. We're from Texas.
Hey, I lived there for 4 years. Do you want to tell him? I think that's really interesting that he brought that up.
Yeah, so it is we're seeing Act 1, Scene 1 of a play that's been a little embryo inside of me for a long time that is a modern adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. So he had a hint. He had a hint.
I had a little hint.
But Louis,
We got it. We got it.
so much. Huh?
We got it.
We got it, yeah.
Jimmy got it.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Ty. I was going to call him Ty because he had posted something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that the world does feels so incredibly lived in and real just from like the first moment that like the first couple exchanges of dialogue. I was like, okay, I know this. Like I know this space, and I kind of want to second a lot of what Luis was saying. Is that the exposition, like this is an expository scene, like it is the first scene we're getting to know the world, but it doesn't feel like an expository scene. It feels like we are fully immersed right in the moment as to what's happening versus like, oh, okay, let's find out what's happening in the play. It just like
right
in the world. And so I want to read the rest of this play. I want to read it. I want to see it. I want to see this produced.
Thanks, new friend. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Anybody else? Selena, watch out. Selena's talking to everybody.
No, I think to what Jen said, I don't know how you intended to write Mandy, but it reminded me of like when he pushed me against like the car. It actually reminded me of like being a teenager and getting slapped in the butt, like someone pretending it was an accident, but you knew it wasn't. They were like trying to touch your butt and be cool in front of the other guys. And I just felt that in this moment, it reminded me so much of that because it was like not acknowledging it in a way that would give them the pleasure of like, oh, you were cool, you got it. You know, it was like, no, I'm not going to give you the pleasure, even though I'm like mortified inside. You're not going to get the reward of knowing that you got to me and that you know, that you won or whatever. And I feel like Selena is so fun because I feel like she's gone through a lot and things have not gone her way. Like not having a mom and not, you know, when you're a teenager, you just want things to be normal and things to go perfect so that you can fit in. That's all you want to do. And I feel like this upcoming party is like her moment. So she's like on a high, trying to, you know, it's my moment. Like I'm on top now. And she's just running with it, even though she may not, you know, it's like teenagers, they always think it's not going to happen to me. So she may, like, I think the running high of it is like not fully aware of the real dangers that may be out there. Plus, like the extra security I feel like my dad does give me for being the sheriff. Like you're not going to mess with the sheriff's daughter in a way. But
right.
You're so right. May I just because
yes,
I love that. And that the fact that a young woman at that age and like it's what you did so perfectly is saying that like she doesn't give in to all the men around her, and that somehow at the age of 14 she's still owning who she is and figuring it out and doing it on her own terms. And you did that beautifully. So thank you.
Anybody else? Any other comments?
Well, just
Carla Briscoe.
Just to hop on what you were saying, like there's what you were saying about like not being your sort of standard 14-year-old, like the moment even when like her boyfriend puts his hands on her hips and she's like, don't touch me, don't touch me. Like, no me toques. You know, like that, that like even a moment like that establishes who she is, right? Like she's controlling the narrative, you know, or at least I think that was the impression that I had, is that she's not to be fucked with. You know what I mean? Which very different than my previous I guess portrayals of Juliet that I've seen. It's a lot more powerful for me as an audience member to see her.
Well, she's not Juliet.
She's Samson.
She's I'm sorry?
Samson.
She's Samson?
He was a boy. He's not a boy anymore. He's Selena, and he's.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later. I misinterpreted the piece. But it's fucking awesome, regardless.
No, it is absolutely. Anybody else? Okay. Yeah, Mandy, it's fantastic. You know, the sense of immortality that young people have is scary, to say the least. And I think that it is lying underneath this scene here, where, you know, people, ironically, they don't see their own deaths. They feel as though they could survive, they can fly, they can do anything because they have youth working in their favor. And it's very compelling. It's something that, especially in this first scene, that really kind of drags you in, sensing the danger, but still finding it playful and interesting and dynamic. I really loved it. I for some reason I didn't know this was the first scene, but it makes complete sense that it is. Was it when you did the reading of the first act, this was the first scene?
It was, yeah. I mean, it's been tweaked a little bit, but it's very
Okay.
do you at me, sir.
Yeah, no, it absolutely sets it up. It sets everything up really nicely. Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it's them too. I'm so grateful for this cast.
Yeah, no, really,
Can I raise
everyone.
one? Raise one to everybody. Cheers.
Oh, I have an IPA.
For you.
Oh, look at the wine.
You're
And again,
drinking
Andrew.
Corona?
Andrew,
Wow.
thank you for joining the group tonight. You were fantastic.
Yeah,
You never-
welcome.
Even Chase, who I don't
Welcome to the
recognize,
best-
'cause he looks like the G.I. Joe I had when I was 11 years old now.
Woo.
The foot tall G.I. Joe with the beard.
Oh my
Okay, I'm sorry. Let us go, Dan. It's up to you to take us away.
All right, let's keep it moving here next. Oh, before we get to that, Erin, I would like to ask you in the YouTube chat, since you are monitoring that, to post the link to sign up for our mailing list, which I will then repost in Zoom for anybody who is not currently on our mailing list. Lots of cool information in there, so it's definitely worth your while. Also, if you guys would like to go to newambassadorstheater.com/donate, that's theater with an R-E, we are always accepting donations. We are a 501c3 non-for-profit organization, and everything that we will be doing in the future, now that this is over Zoom, everything that we will be doing in the future is only made possible from viewers like you. So that being said, we are going to move right along. Perrin Pomato's piece, Pandemic Phil. Perrin, it's all yours.
All right. There's not much to introduce about it. It's a pretty self-contained piece. Wrote it, obviously, during our quarantine and all of this. Yeah, I think that's about all I'll say about it. We have Jackson as being played by Chase Naylor. Phil, title character, played by Paul Packler. And Virginia Reynolds is reading the computer voice and stage directions. So I'll hand it off to them.
All right. Pandemic Phil by Perrin Pomato. Living room couch upstage center, desk downstage right, table and chairs downstage left. Jackson sits at the desk staring at the laptop. He is wearing a button-down shirt and tie on the top and shorts boxers down on the bottom. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank fucking God.
Phil appears in the doorway. He is wearing a raincoat, rubber dishwashing gloves, galoshes, and a face mask. He holds a can of Lysol. I'm sorry, did someone say something?
Shit.
Was that you, Jackson? Did you have something to say?
No. No, that wasn't me. Nothing to say. Have a nice day.
Jackson clicks on the computer.
And leave meeting. Moron! Hopefully I don't get some terse email later.
Jackson stands. As he does, Phil rushes behind him and begins spraying the computer with Lysol, startling Jackson.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Phil pulls paper towels out of his pocket and begins to wipe down the computer.
What are you doing?
What does it look like?
Like you're insane. I haven't left the apartment in 5 days.
Well, you never know.
Yes, you do.
Well, how do I know that?
Because you haven't left the apartment in 5 days either.
Maybe you snuck out while I was asleep.
And why would I do that? It's not like there's anything for me to do out there. I mean, what? Am I going to press my face longingly against the glass of some bar while tearfully pleading, please let me in, please? My husband has been chasing me around the apartment with a Lysol can for weeks and I just can't take it anymore, please.
Whatever. You can never be too careful.
Yes, you can.
Jackson goes to exit.
Where are you going?
Nowhere, Phil. Nowhere. I just thought I'd go get my new book.
What is it?
I don't know. Every time I pick it up, you snatch it out of my hands and Lysol it. The cover's so bleached I can't read the title.
I'm an open book. Why don't you read me?
I think I just did.
Well, at least you know my title.
Yeah. Phil, the Lysol Queen. He will spray you and spray you even though you're clean.
That sounds kind of hot,
said the creepy proctologist before he asked me to bend over.
Well, I suppose I could take some of this off.
Phil begins to remove his raincoat.
And that's usually my response.
Whore.
Whores get paid.
Phil is now only in his underwear, galoshes, and mask.
You only wish your proctologist looked like this.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Jackson pulls Phil in to kiss him.
This might be a little easier if you lose the mask.
Jackson goes to lift the mask. Phil stops him.
Let me take your temperature first.
You've got to be kidding me.
It'll just take 1 minute.
Phil exits.
Do you have an anal thermometer at least? Make it a little more fun?
Phil re-enters.
No, but I did get this great electronic one off Amazon last week. It has 20 different sound effects to choose from that let you know when it's ready.
Can you put it on vibrate?
Don't be crude.
Says the man running around looking like Hannibal Lecter at a circuit party.
Phil shoves the thermometer into Jackson's mouth.
It'd only take a minute.
Phil grabs the Lysol and scrubs down the table.
This is kind of nice. Quiet. No smart-ass remarks. You know, I should shove things in your mouth more often.
Thermometer goes off to the sound of hot stuff. Phil runs across the room and grabs the thermometer.
Oh my God.
What?
Your temperature is 99.1.
Phil jumps up from the couch and runs to the other side of the room by the table.
Let me see.
Jackson gets up and starts to go to Phil.
It's right there in black and white.
Jackson reaches for the thermometer. Phil pulls it back.
Get thee behind me, Satan!
Phil grabs the Lysol off the table and pushes past Jackson.
That was the idea a few minutes ago.
Phil grabs his coat, puts it on, holds Lysol out like mace.
I knew you'd gone out. I knew it!
I have not gone out. It's hot as fuck in this apartment. And I mean, you're fucking hot. So between the two of you.
Lies! Lies!
I'm lying to you that you're fucking hot? Have some self-esteem.
From now on, you stay locked in the bedroom and I'll stay out here.
So now what? You're Buffalo Bill and I'm the chick in the well?
Just go. Go.
I'm good with cosplay, but pick a side.
Don't fuck with me.
Oh, very put the lotion in the basket. I like it.
Please. Please. I can't be around you right now.
Okay, I'm going. Not sure there's much lotion back there, but there's lots of lube though.
Go.
Jackson takes a few steps, then.
You know, I've touched just about everything in here today. How's that Lysol supply? Maybe before my banishment.
Jackson hops on the table and begins to roll around.
Stop that. Stop that.
Phil runs to the table and pushes Jackson off, begins spraying the table.
Oh, you got some emails to write later?
Jackson runs over to the laptop, picks it up, and begins rubbing it all over his face, breathes on it.
Oh, this computer is hot. Maybe you should take its temperature.
Phil runs to him and begins spraying Lysol, which Jackson blocks with the computer. Jackson runs to the couch and lays on it, rolling around.
No.
Phil runs to the couch and sprays the room indiscriminately. Jackson starts coughing.
See? Now get in the bedroom.
Coughing from the Lysol, you idiot.
Well, how do I know that?
Because you just sprayed me.
Oh, you want some more?
Phil waves the can at Jackson.
Christ, fine, I'll go to the bedroom. But you have serious issues.
My only issue is that I have a husband who doesn't take this pandemic seriously. Do you want us to die?
No, me? No, you kind of 50-50 right now.
Do you want me to die? I can't believe that you just said that to me.
You just sprayed me with enough Lysol to choke me and half of the neighborhood. So you know what? You're not my favorite person right now.
I can't believe that you said that to me. You know, all I want is for us to be safe. Can't you understand that? I want to grow old with you, not get some call from the doctor saying that you died alone because I wasn't allowed in the hospital because of this damn thing.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm scared too, and I promise I haven't gone out. I'm washing my hands like 50 times a day with soap for 20 seconds.
Happy birthday through twice.
Yes, although we really need to find a better song. At the rate we're having birthdays, we'll be Methuselah's age before this is over.
Well, at least I'd get my wish that we'd be old together.
Yeah, it's my wish too.
I know I'm crazy.
You think? But that's why I love you. It's never boring around here.
I love you too.
Now, can you take that damn mask off?
Phil takes the mask off.
Okay, there you are. Come here.
Jackson pulls Phil in to kiss him. Phil pulls away.
Sure you're okay?
Yes, now shut the fuck up and kiss me, you crazy loon.
Jackson goes to kiss Phil. Phil stops him again.
Close your eyes.
Jackson closes his eyes, puckers up. Phil sprays his face with Lysol.
Are you fucking...
Phil jumps onto Jackson and kisses him. Blackout. The end.
Has it come to Lysol? Lysol the aphrodisiac. Thank you guys. That was great. That was wonderful. Paul Packler, you're crazy. Karen, as we move forward with the feedback, is there anything in particular you would like anyone to focus on?
Not necessarily. I mean, you know, I sort of wrote this as like a 10-minute piece, but I was thinking I could maybe extend it, but then I'd probably have to change the ending. But outside of that, you know, like, so are people interested in seeing more of it, or do they think it's...
Okay. That's fine. That's exactly, that's good feedback to have. So everybody, Perrin would like to know if, besides all the popcorn moments and, you know, what was compelling, what images stay with you, all that, if you think that it would be something to develop further. Does anyone want to start? Carla.
It reminded me of like The Odd Couple, but during a pandemic. Like, I think it works as an answer to the one question that you had about whether to keep it as a short or make it a full length. I think it works more as a short, and just like teasing that out more. I thought that the characters, like The Odd Couple, the reason that came to me was just sort of like the more within the confines of the pandemic, like the people who are like super cautious and the people who are sloppy, and Chase's character being the sloppy one. But I don't know. I would like to see sort of more teasing out of them as people beyond the sexual. It was for me. I thought there were a lot of funny lines for sure. Like I loved the Silence of the Lambs reference. The put the lotion in the basket reference was a popcorn moment for me. And there were a lot of popcorn moments, like dialogue wise. I just kind of wanted them to be, I wanted a little more about their relationship, I guess.
Okay. Mandy Murphy.
Yeah, I think it's almost set up perfectly to be a pilot sitcom. You've got the expositional moment and all of those things. It could also make an incredible 10-minute piece for whenever we're allowed to do 10-minute pieces again. But I'm for it. In terms of like extending, if you're thinking like an extension of a play or something like that, I truly believe your brain could take it anywhere it needed to. But I'm seconding Carla and all that I think that it could be episodic to the max and be hilarious once you started incorporating other people that have their same senses of humor or combat them in a funny way. But soundstage, holy cow, crawl over that shit. I saw all that.
Okay.
A great physical comedy.
Yeah. Put a computer that we can't see. Does it, is it big? I don't know. Or a tablet, maybe a tablet, I don't know.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. How about any questions? Was there any part that you dropped out or where you were confused at all? I don't think so. So it's more in line of development, right? And that's that's basically the question. Is there anything you would like to see further developed? And I think Carla was saying, and I agree with her, that they're very interesting characters, and to see them beyond the sexual confrontation, because they did have, you know, very distinct personalities. It might be interesting to see how beyond the sex and maybe even beyond the mask and the situation of COVID, how they cohabited together, what were the things that brought them together as lovers. It's always, you know, it's the pandemic that will show us the best or the worst in the person that we're shacked up with. So obviously this is one of those things where it highlights the extreme of the Oscar Madison, Felix Unger to the Oscar Madison to fill out Carla's reference. So that I kind of agree. I think they're very interesting characters, and I would like to see more about who they were, because they obviously there's really some good comedy that can come out of it. And the fact that they're in love with one another is even more interesting. And if this is what you're living right now,
to some degree,
I'm sorry. But you know what? Everything makes art, right? Everything makes art.
Exactly.
Anybody else? Okay. Did you have any other? I'm sorry.
Raphael has his
Oh,
hand up.
Raphael, you know, you're way down here and John's going like this, pointing at the old woman, Jennifer Bradley. Sorry, Raphael, go ahead.
Oh, no problem. I had to log out and come back in. Well, and I just wanted to second what you said, David, and push it further that I'm curious. I guess it depends on, where you see this ultimately living, of how long it is, or if it's a pilot or what. But I am also curious about pushing it, because again, you hear all this stuff about couples like, yeah, like coming to the breaking points. So I wonder, depending on the length of this, do they get to a breaking point and veer away, or do they break, or, you know, do they fall down and then break together? And, you know, I'm just wondering, depending on, again, like what the ultimate form is you see for this, if that can push further, bringing in stuff like from before pandemic that has been exacerbated, that now has to be either dealt with or gets just pushed too far.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, and I'm gonna let Phil talk shortly. You normally, when you bring in stuff, you bring in screenplays or like television scripts. How did you originally envision this? Because it has this cinematic kind of television kind of.
I mean, I still thought of it as I thought of it as a play. I mean, I wrote it as a play. So.
Okay. No, it has that too, but I was just curious.
I mean, it could be, you know, I would certainly, it could certainly be a, you know, little, like she said, a pilot or something like that too, but.
Because a lot of us are bi, you know?
Right.
So,
we like TV and plays.
Yes. Phil, let's hear from Phil. I do see you, Travis, and I see you, Mandy. I'm calling everyone by their character name, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, talking about Neil Simon and talking about The Odd Couple, it actually makes me think more of Barefoot in the Park, you know, with this couple in different circumstances and different stages of their relationship. The opportunity presents itself because this is very specific to this one instance, but you could easily ask the question, well, what's the best day of their relationship look like? And this is obviously one of the worst days of their relationship. And then, you know, what's the synthesis of those two after the fact? You know, if you just ask those sort of questions, you can really open yourself up to expanding this in that way, which is really what Barefoot in the Park is. It's just like honeymoon, marriage, and then learning. So yeah, so if you're looking to expand it beyond, you know, this is, it's a 10-minute play that works very well, or if you did want to make it into a fuller length thing, that could be a way forward.
Yeah.
Right, honeymoon, marriage, and learning in tandem, all at once,
Yes.
without a breath. Luis and then Mandy. Go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of second what Raphael and Paul are saying, and that I too kind of have this envision after hearing of it, of seeing as this epic two-hander, you know, that's about a relationship in COVID. I mean, like, who else is gonna write that play, you know, if not you? Like, it might not ever be, you know? So I feel like you have a lot of wonderful specific insights about where those points of tension are. And I feel like there's a lot of people that could really resonate and feel their experience through a story like this, that doesn't ignore what we're all going through, and rather like takes those factors into account, and then, like, you know, kind of cuts through even the Zoom world. It can like speak right to what we're all feeling. So I think it's awesome, man. And I would definitely encourage you to like keep on going with it.
Thank you.
Excellent. Mandy.
Falling his coconut water. Oh my God. I was going to say, and this may be overstepping a little bit, but we don't get to have our good little artistic discussions where we go out for beers afterwards. So whatever, we're doing it. Perrin, more than other people, writes television episodically in ways that I've seen more than a lot of writers I get to interact with a lot. And you know what's interesting about this is this is the second time I've heard this piece, and I'm going to use the word and don't take offense to it, but like dated. This feels like the beginning of COVID already, like in a good way. And I want to see what happened to these guys as spring hit in New York City and as we're moving back into fall and stuff like that. And if that makes it more of this like converging things of the honeymoon that everyone's talking about in that way, or if it's episodic, whatever it is, I feel like you could do that so well and so stupid hilariously. So take that or leave that. I just can't leave it alone because you write better than so many people I know.
Thank you.
Well, Perrin, if you don't develop this further, we're coming after you.
With the mask on. I'll put my mask on.
I have plenty of time these days, so I don't have an excuse.
Answered, and now we're going to hold you accountable to it. Anybody else?
Yeah. And Michael's
All right.
sitting next to me. He's like plenty of material too. So.
Well, fantastic. Thank you, Perrin.
Thank you.
2 actors. That was really great.
Yes, thank you guys. You guys were great.
I'm gonna throw it over to Dan again. Dan the man.
Alrighty. Well, I hope everyone that is viewing this likes both playwrights and actors, because this final piece of the night has a ton of both of those. So this is going to be role play by Jennifer Downs, John Pena Griswold, and Alex Harris, and there are like 40 different actors in this. So I will leave it to you guys to have at it.
Cool. This is the first act of a movie. And I was working on it for a little while and kind of not exactly sure where I wanted to go with it. And I saw some of John and Jennifer's plays, thought they were really great and funny and touching and all the things you want a play to be, and kind of recruited them. And it is a suspense film that's set in the world of immersive theater. And as Dan just said, there are a lot of characters, a lot of scene description, a lot of everything. So thank you, cast, as well, for staying for this, and looking forward to seeing it come to life.
Yeah, I'll introduce our actors quickly, since there are so many of them. David Michael Kirby will be playing Bruce. Pierre Campbell will be playing Jules. Jennifer Bradley, I cannot thank you enough for dealing with this moniker. She will be playing the old woman. Carla Briscoe will be playing Sandra. Chase Naylor will be playing Connor. August Keller will be playing Eli. Maya Rosewood will be playing Marie. Andrew Griffin will be playing both George and Server. Jer Senni will be playing Ash. Miley Binion will be playing Dana. Paul Packler will be playing host as well as usher number 1. And Virginia Reynolds is going to be reading Man's Voice, PA System, Stagehand as Greek chorus, as well as our screen descriptions. So thank you very much.
I will, just so you guys know, I'll try to change my voice as much as I can, because you're going to forget by the time I get to the character who I'm being that I'm somebody else, but I'll do my best to change my voice. Okay. Fade in, interior auditorium day. Theater house chairs covered in supple black velour slide by our frame in a hushed grandeur. We glide toward the back of the dimly lit house, passing row after row of empty seats, flecked with the flashing gold of donor-plated armrests.
The word theater comes from the Greeks. It means the seeing place, the place people come to see the truth about life and the social situation.
In the last row, 3 individuals sit alone in the near darkness. Bruce Maxwell, mid-60s, a svelte, stylishly dressed white man, adjusts his drama comedy mask cufflinks. A thin line of scar runs across his left cheek. At his right hand sits Jules Adeyemi, a mid-20s, elegantly appointed Black woman with a dancer's perfect posture. Sandra Smith, 40s, a critic with a shaved head and arm-length tattoos, holds out a digital voice recorder with her right hand, diligently taking notes with her left. Bruce leans into the mic.
That's a Stella Adler quote, of course. You're mute, Carla.
Of course. And what do you believe your audience will see in this production?
Well, on the one hand, they'll see skilled actors executing an inarticulably intricate, immersive production.
Say that 5 times fast.
Sandra exhales an appreciative laugh. Jules smiles, looks to Bruce, who levels her with an impassive stare. Flash forward. Interior dark hallway. Flash forward. Jules, in the same outfit, wearing a white theater mask, runs through a dim hallway in a panic. She grips a knife in her hand. Back to present.
On the other hand, the public will see what they want to see. Banal or beautiful. As artists, we only tell the same old stories over and over.
And which story are you telling?
Sandra leans in. Bruce smiles.
How I became a murderer.
Flash forward. Jules rounds a corner, breathing heavily. She looks back. No one there. A seemingly disembodied hand hovers over her shoulder. Back to present.
The authorities maintain there was no foul play in Olivia O'Donoghue's disappearance.
True. But that won't keep the insinuation from your headline, will it? Hopefully, this production will shed some light on the events of that night. To quote Charles, theater is the public trial of our delusions.
Speaking of Mr. Chambers, your time as the executor of his estate has been productive. We've seen many in off-Broadway revival from your program, but this, his final play, was thought to be long lost.
Well, Charles always had a sense of timing, although the credit for this particular stroke of serendipity goes to my protege.
Bruce claps his large hands on Jules's shoulder. Flash forward. The disembodied hand falls on Jules's shoulder, squeezes lightly. Jules screams and turns to see a tall masked man standing behind her. He calmly reaches down, takes the knife from her. Back to present.
Is that so?
He exaggerates.
I dramatize, Miss Adeyemi. Miss Adeyemi is not only my leading lady, she's also my tireless TA, with the unfortunate duty of shuffling through my mountains of dusty tomes.
And did you know what it was that you'd stumbled across, Miss Adeyemi?
Not at first. I was cataloging his first editions in the office and found the play tucked away at the back of a shelf, handwritten. It's not exactly linear, so the formatting was creative, to say the least. There was no title page of any sort or demarcation. I just started reading, and I couldn't stop. It was shocking.
A crisp wave of air moves past the trio. Jules shivers. They all look up. An ancient AC pipe belches cool air.
You'll have to excuse the temperature. Old theaters have a mind of their own. Even the plumbing can't resist getting in on this plot.
Bruce smiles. Sandra appears unamused.
So, this infamous suicide play.
We prefer The Final Guard.
If the manuscript wasn't titled, why add your own?
Well, we had to call it something, playbills and all that.
So, The Final Guard, then. The public is already aware of some grimmer details of the source incident. Any content warnings for your audience?
Flash forward. The tall man removes his mask. It's George Maxwell, Bruce's son, mid-20s, lithe, leading man if there ever was one. He looms over Jules, speaking some words we can't hear. Jules slaps him weakly across the face. He steps toward her. She lashes out with her knife. George bellows and grabs his face. He pulls his hand away, blood red. A thin gash opens across his left cheek.
Hold!
Lights come up, revealing a crowd of other actors hidden just outside the darkness of the frame. We're on a stage. Dana, 20s, 30s, the fast-moving one crisis from an aneurysm stage manager, crosses quickly to George with a rag. She wipes the blood from his cheek, then expertly removes the silicone face wound. Bruce angrily beelines for Jules and George, brushing Dana aside. Back to present. Sandra holds Bruce in an innocent stare. He smiles, leans his head close to her digital recorder, never breaking eye contact.
I'd never coddled the minds of my audience with the inclusion of an asterisk.
Well, Mr. Chambers' work is known for pushing the boundaries of language. You, on the other hand, are known for pushing the boundaries of, shall we call it, the human psyche.
Flash forward. Bruce is now an inch from Jules's face.
When you move to strike a man on my stage, the usher at the back of the house should fear for his life. Do you understand?
Bruce,
Hit me.
Bruce, please.
Hit me.
Bruce bears down on her. Jules backs up, stumbling against the stage wall. Her back presses against the plywood. Her knuckles go white as she grips the prop knife. Back to present.
That depends on your reference point.
Say more.
Well, I consider it to be an inexcusable lack of perspective that any production with the balls to grab its audience by the senses is written off as gimmicky antics built for the Instagram age.
So you do read reviews.
Just yours.
He holds Sandra in his gaze a moment, then stands up with a loud inhale, towering over her, straightening his blazer.
And now I'm afraid we must return to our rehearsals. There are only so many more days until opening night, and we've miles to go before we sleep.
Sandra quickly stands, stuffing her recorder and pad into her bag, as Bruce motions for Jules to stand and lead the way.
Bruce, I think my editor spoke to your stage manager about possibly sitting for a run through.
Bruce stops dead in his tracks and faces her.
Absolutely not. This isn't some humble 3-act play for you to observe. We're curating an immersive theatrical event, a single night of life that has never existed before and will never exist again. Good day, Ms. Smith.
He turns on his heel, strides down the aisle toward the stage. Jules stays a moment longer, looks apologetically at the stunned Sandra, but says nothing. She turns and follows after Bruce. Reveal the theater mask in her hand.
Fucking directors.
Flash forward.
Hit me.
Bruce hovers over Jules, raises his fist. She stands unwavering, staring into his eyes.
Disappointing. Marie?
Marie, early 20s, the perennial understudy, rushes forward in an identical outfit to Jules.
Congratulations. You're our new leading lady. Miss Ayedemi won't be feeling well on Friday.
Marie fails to contain her excitement. Jules drops the prop knife. It clatters to the stage. She storms out. No one makes eye contact. Exit. Alley behind theater house moments later. Sandra finishes the last drag of a cigarette, scrolling lazily on her phone. She picks up when, with a crash, Jules flies through the stage door, tears in her eyes, struggling to hold onto a box of personal effects. She dashes down the street. Sandra's eyebrows rise. She flicks her cigarette and follows Jules, a small smile on her lips. Cut to opening credits, roll over a montage of backstage moments as punchy, disjointed music bounces along. A hand mechanically opens playbill after playbill, placing in each one a slip of paper. The role of Olivia O'Donoghue will be played by Marie Burns. Dana flips on an enormous row of light switches, one by one, watching the corresponding sections light up on her iPad control board. George adjusts his dance belt, flexing at himself in the mirror. Connor proudly applies his head usher pin, then jumps as he stabs himself with it. A row of actresses sit side by side at the vanities, meticulously swirling their hair up into buns. Ushers move up the aisle in sync, sweeping as they go. Cut to black. A title card appears. Role play. Dissolve over. Exterior Hartford Hotel, night. A stunning, Gothic 5-story hotel juts out from a row of industrial Brooklyn warehouses. Exterior Hartford Hotel, door, night. An old woman, 80s, approaches the building, holding her coat close around her. As she reaches the ornate entryway, the host, 20s, steps in her path with a conspiratorial grin.
Welcome to the Hartford Hotel. May I have the password, ma'am?
Oh, my. I'm sorry. I'm here to see a theater show.
The host's smile wavers ever so slightly.
I know of no show, but with the right password, I could transport you through time to a night you'll never forget.
The old woman stares.
It should have been in the email.
The old woman stares.
Maybe it's on your phone.
The old woman stares.
Why don't you just go in, honey? Enjoy your evening.
But I'm here for a play.
The host pushes her gently through the doorway and towards a row of gilded elevators, then turns to greet the next group.
Password, sir.
Interior entryway. The old woman stares up at the golden plated arrow above the elevator door as it smoothly glides towards L. Other guests fill in beside her, chattering excitedly.
Haberdasher.
Right, but...
The old woman looks over to see a woman in a ball cap beginning to push her way past the bewildered host.
But nothing, I bought my ticket.
Ding! The elevator doors glide open to reveal Connor, his head usher pin displayed prominently on his elevator operator uniform.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are the final group. Please step carefully into the elevator. Your experience awaits you.
The host waves their arms frantically, trying to flag Connor's attention. Connor, confused, gives a subtle "what" gesture. The host points aggressively toward the woman in the ball cap just as she steps past Connor onto the elevator. His eyes widen. Too late, the elevator doors shut. Interior elevator continuous. Everyone is excitedly crammed into the large elevator, politely quiet, waiting for their next instructions. In the flat lighting of the elevator, we see the woman's face clearly under the ball cap, Jules in disguise. Her presence has clearly knocked Connor off his game. He tries to refocus.
All righty, up we go.
He pushes one of the buttons and the elevator ascends. He turns to the group, smiling warmly.
Good evening, esteemed guests, and welcome to the historic Hartford Hotel. Your experience will begin in the Charles T. Chambers Theater, and it will end in, well, who's to say?
Pauses for effect.
What you see tonight will frighten you, will inspire you, humor you, and provoke you. Remember that your role in this evening's proceedings is as important as anyone else's, including the cat.
You're muted, Jules.
You're rushing, Connor.
Glances at Jules from the crowd, wary of her.
Cast. We're all performers serving the bigger picture. Now, there are very few rules to follow tonight, just 3. They are the utmost important.
I didn't even realize elevator operator was part of the cast. Your parents must be so proud.
Connor again is forced to refocus.
Sorry, folks, where was I? Yes, the rules. There are 3 rules you must abide by tonight. No talking once the show begins, no phones, no taking off your masks. Yes, at some point you will receive a mask, and once you do, it stays on. Follow these rules, or you will be escorted out to your own embarrassment. Your reputation may never recover.
People chuckle. Their fun is interrupted when Jules burps, prompting a tizzy of judgmental glances, including the old woman who glares, "Where are your manners?" Jules grins back snidely. The elevator dings and the doors open. Interior theater lobby continuous. 2 ushers hold large bags full of phones and purses. They hand out small plastic bags for the audience members to put their phones into as they exit the elevator. In the background, other audience members mill about the lobby, a plush burgundy and gold space. Some look around expectantly, others impatiently check their watches. Interior elevator continuous. Jules pushes herself off the back of the elevator as the rest of the audience members file out. Before she can cross the threshold, Connor grabs her arm.
Jules, you need to get
your goddamn hands off of me.
This catches people's attention, both cast and audience. Connor looks out at the room with a nervous, reassuring smile, then turns back to Jules, blocking her way out of the elevator with his body.
Just, what the hell are you doing here?
Same as you. I'm a performer serving the bigger picture.
All right, listen. None of us liked how Bruce handled it, but we all worked our asses off for this, and I can't let you ruin it, not on my watch. Good. God, Jules, your breath could power a hybrid. Have an Altoid.
He opens his tin of Altoids for her, and she slaps it away.
Why?
He kneels to pick up the Altoids, muttering under his breath. When he looks up, Jules has blended into the crowd.
Shit.
Interior lounge continuous. The old woman observes the lounge, dimly lit and full of distinguished furniture and bookshelves. Servers walk around holding trays of complicated-looking cocktails, making sure everyone is drinking. An air of suspense and excitement in the room. Perhaps a tinge of fear, too. Everyone looks around at everyone else, wondering what they're in for, wondering who knows what. A server, 20s, approaches the old woman.
Care for an experience enhancer, ma'am?
A what?
A cocktail?
Oh, I'm not much in for the spirits.
We highly recommend it. How often do you get to have an absinthe champagne cocktail?
The old woman appears tempted by this.
I'll confess, I've always had a little flirtation with the absinthe.
Oh, that's the spirit. Ha ha! $14.
Oh, I assumed these were free.
Nope.
She frowns, digs in her purse, fingers an Asian credit card.
Cash only.
She sighs. Just then, Jules swoops in, grabs a drink off the tray, continues without paying.
Hey!
The server chases after her. On the old woman. The old woman inspects her drink, smells it, takes a sip. She smiles, surprised at the taste, then takes a deep pull. She places the half-full glass on a nearby table and wanders away from the crowd, generally making their way on towards the main theater entrance, heading instead down a hallway off-screen. She stops to observe the vintage posters lining the wall. All of them feature a stunning young blonde actress. When she leaves frame, push in on the bottom of the poster. A play by Charles T. Chambers, directed by Bruce Maxwell. On Jules. As people are being encouraged to take their seats in the background, the server has cornered Jules privately in the foreground.
I already told you the drinks are not free.
I'm sorry. I just have to assume that this is all part of the magic. Here, let me write you a check for a gabillion show dollars.
Just give me the drink.
He reaches for it. She holds it out of his reach.
Getting handsy, are we? Trust me. You'll like me better this way.
She chugs the drink, maintaining eye contact with the glowering server. Interior theater hallway continuous. The old woman walks toward an inconspicuous door that leads who knows where. An usher, 20s, appears behind her.
Miss, you can't go back there.
She turns around. She stares at him blankly.
I know it's immersive, but that's literally just storage back there.
Usher 1 takes a step toward her, a little confused.
Can I help you to your seat?
Clifford Odets said the best seat is in the back stage.
She smiles.
Well, that's charming, but...
The usher's walkie-talkie crackles. We've got a situation. I need all hands on deck stat. Meet on the south side of the lobby right now. The usher sizes up the old woman. Seems harmless enough.
Please just head back down the hall. There's no late seating.
He rushes off to tend to the situation. Interior elevator continuous. Connor, visibly concerned, takes a large bag of cell phones and purses from one of the ushers and repeatedly presses the top floor button. Just before the doors close, Eli, 20s, also wearing an elevator operator uniform and a badge reading Assistant Head Usher, slips in, holding 2 more bags of cell phones. The elevator ascends.
Was that who I think it is?
No. Shut up, Eli.
Oh man, she shouldn't be here.
Shut up, Eli.
The elevator dings again, and Connor careens out to the left, Eli in tow, big heavy bags over their shoulders. Interior backstage offices continuous. They walk past hair and makeup rooms where actors are getting the final touches, chatting, changing into their costumes. They power past them, reflexively shielding their eyes. They ascend a set of stairs, approaching an office at the end of a hallway. Door closed, light on inside. Just before they reach the offices, they're startled by
Don't even think about it.
their heads whip right. Dana emerges from a corner office, her eyes flashing a warning as her fingers continuously fly across the iPad. She finishes her task with a swipe as she steps between the men and the door to the office.
He's meditating.
We have a problem.
What?
Jules is here.
Shit.
Yeah.
Alone?
Yeah. In disguise.
What kind of disguise?
Celebrity at an airport.
Okay. I'll talk to him. Thanks, guys.
Connor looks like he wants to power past her into the office.
That'll be all.
She reaches out to receive the bags. Connor and Eli look at each other, not sure they want to give them up, still eyeing the office. A moment of tension. Then Connor sighs. They hand over the bags. She shoos them away with a dismissive hand. Dana approaches the door, clears her throat. Nervous, she lifts her fist to knock, thinks better of it. Then, timidly,
Knock, knock. Knock, knock.
silence, then the door swings open.
You're 3 minutes early, Dana. I was mid-mantra.
Interior Bruce's office, continuous, pretentious chic, awards prominently displayed, precisely arranged modern art, a trendy mustard sofa. Bruce buttons down his flashy shirt. His black suede blazer hangs on the bathroom door. Collages of articles and reviews of Bruce's plays over the years line the walls, along with cast photos. As he adjusts his sleeves in the mirror, the muscles at his jaw flex and strain.
So, we have a slight problem.
You're goddamn right we do. 26 plays in 30 years, and I literally could not buy a good review from Sandra Kingmaker Smith. That changes tonight. This is what they'll remember me by.
This line resonates with Dana for some reason.
Wait. Have you tried to buy a review?
The dramatic tidiness of Maxwell's play dovetails with the soap operatic strands into a facile contemporary j'accuse without ever addressing how race plays into the ideologies that enforce an oppressive order. I could mount an entirely black, gay production of Les Mis sung in the original Francais, and she'd still find a way to call me a hack. She is the most pompous.
She bought a ticket.
What?
Yankees cap.
And you just sat here and let me monologue?
I find it helps you release some of your excess.
Bruce is already out the door. We stay on Dana, who appears pleased by Bruce's departure. She looks down at the bags by her feet. She swings the door shut. Click of the lock. Interior theater lobby moments later. Bruce marches down the stairs, blazer on, intense eyes searching for Jules. He waves through a gaggle of audience members, furious gaze on the back of Jules' ball-capped head. An audience member recognizes Bruce and tries to flag him down for a conversation. Bruce pushes straight through him. Just as she and a dozen other audience members are about to enter the theater, he grabs her arm, turns her around.
If you step so much as 1 inch into my theater, so help me God!
It's a thin black man in a ball cap, alarmed and confused by Bruce. Bruce can't believe it. He looks around frantically. Bruce's point of view, peeking into the auditorium where Jules is finding a seat mid-audience. She notices Bruce looking at her, smiles, waves, takes her seat safely in the crowd. Bruce grinds his teeth. Livid, he snatches the hat right off the head of the unsuspecting man.
No hats in the theater, damn it!
The man narrows his eyes at Bruce, but says nothing. He snatches his hat back and walks into the auditorium. A stagehand approaches Bruce cautiously, keeping a good foot between them. Sir, we're at places.
Thank you, places.
Interior theater auditorium moments later. The 125 seat theater is packed, mostly white highbrow types leaning older. The house lights fade and the low hum of audience chit-chat dies out. A PA system crackles to life. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final guard. Tonight's performance will run forever. Loud static blasts over the audience. It's unpleasant. Sandra, sitting dead center, takes notice. Not be an intermission. In the unlikely event of a fire, please run! The PA clicks off. Beat. Audience members look around. Was that part of the show? Lights up on stage. A scream of violins pierces the air as the curtain rises. An idyllic Eden. Grass, moss, and a thick fog covers the stage floor. Earthy mounds line the back. A Greek chorus wearing masks materialize. They ooze from the wings, from behind the mounds, even crawling up from the orchestra pit. They collect center stage, piece by piece. The group stands together, solidifying into a single swaying mass. An unearthly sound originates at the center of the group and grows louder and louder, eventually recognizable as a wheezing, prolonged inhale. High upon Olympus, gods and titans, creators and destroyers, have completed Pandora, first woman of and for the earth. Given all, no gift spared or held, sent to the world complete. From her is the race of women and female kind. Of her is the deadly race and tribe of women who live amongst mortal men, to their great trouble, for the wrecking of the faith of men in the immortal gods could only be wrought in innocence. As they chant the last word in unison, a heavenly spotlight casts a blinding glare down on Marie, who sits atop the centermost mound. She squints. Stage wing. Dana looks down with intense concentration. She quickly jams commands into her iPad.
Damn it, I said to soften that spot. We have to rebalance the lighting for Marie.
Bruce appears behind her.
How are we looking?
Smooth.
On stage, the shrill strings resolve into a harmonic swell of music. The chorus step in sync to the side of the stage. Marie comes to life, stands, sweeping the bulk of her dress into her hand and trotting down the hill unbalanced, like she's under the influence. Her bare feet catch on the fabric. Her eyes open wide as her feet slide from underneath her, and she lands at the bottom of the hill, straight on her ass. In the crowd, Sandra sucks in her breath. Other audience members cringe or gasp. On stage, Marie sits in shock, the masks of the chorus staring at her. Ash, 30s, a non-binary character in masculine clothing, bounds onto the stage, crossing automatically to where Marie should be, surprised to find her on the ground instead.
My lady.
They catch sight of her and quickly do their best to compensate for the extra distance. They offer her their hand to help Marie to her feet. As Marie rights herself, Ash pulls a small package from behind their back. They hold it out.
My lady, there was a parcel left for you at the gate.
A gift. Who sent this trinket?
There was no name, only a note.
Marie pulls a small folded piece of paper from the parcel, then pulls the ribbon tied delicately to its corner.
Holding all you would not seek, you must promise not to peak. Such a force should never leak, all of havoc yet to wreak.
A gust of wind stirs the loose tendrils of Marie's hair across her face as she turns back to the package still in Ash's outstretched hands. She quickly snatches it from them and begins to tear the wrapping away.
My lady?
Marie continues, ravenously tearing at the paper until a box is revealed. It glints in the light, golden accents mingled with the darkly polished wood. Marie eyes the box hungrily.
My lady.
Turning her back to Ash, Marie continues to stare rapturously at the box. She takes it in for a moment longer, then her finger reaches for the clasp.
Pandora!
Snapping from her reverie, Marie turns to Ash first with surprise, then with fury.
How dare you raise your voice to me? I am...
Marie holds her hand to her mouth.
I am.
Her hand shoots to her mouth again. She leans against a prop tree. It tilts under her weight.
Are you okay?
I am overwhelmed by your.
Marie pukes onto the stage. The bile hits the boards with a wet slap. The audience recoils. Ash darts their head around to the audience, then to the stage wing as if for help.
My lady, perchance we should revisit this once you've had a chance to.
Marie spits up directly onto Ash.
Oh, fuck!
Stage wing, Bruce smiles.
Cut it.
Cutting stage lights. Pull curtain.
Two stage hands at the ready, heave on the heavy ropes, the curtain groans.
Bringing up house lights.
Bruce cups two hands on her shoulder.
Your big moment.
He pushes her somewhat roughly onto the stage. On stage, Dana's momentum carries her downstage center as the curtains close behind her, smacking a few Greek chorus members and stranding a few more in front of the curtain. Dana sheepishly takes in the shocked audience.
Good evening, folks. We're having a bit of a technical difficulty.
The sounds of puking continue backstage as Marie clearly stumbles into the curtain behind her.
If you would please exit the theater for maintenance and into the lobby where you can enjoy a complimentary enjoy a drink from our cash bar. Thank
The
you.
audience stares at her dumbfounded and muttering.
Now, please.
This gets a few people quickly on their feet. The rest follow obediently. Sandra is the last one still sitting. She scribbles furiously in her notebook. A satisfied smile sneaks across her face. With a dramatic swoop of an underline, she stands and follows the group ahead of her towards the lobby doors, eyes still glued to the page, mumbling her words back to herself. To be continued.
Oh my God, boy, did I need that gut laugh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. So just quickly, because that was pretty tight. Jen, John, Alex, is there anything you would like the feedback to focus on? Nope, just general comments. Okay, we're gonna go with popcorn moments. What grabbed your attention? What was compelling? What images stayed with you? Turns of phrases, anyone? Mandy, you got something on the tip of your tongue, I know it.
I mean, I posted all of them, so I guess YouTube Live.
Yeah, this chat has been epic. I just got a glimpse of it.
I just knew that I always forget them, so I had to say it. Oh gosh, I can't even remember. What were the bile hits the boards with a slap. I don't know. It was just good. They're just three very talented writers that had really articulate moments that made me giggle.
And really, actually, I want to add the actors to that because that was a lot, and you guys really were just fantastic. It was so entertaining. It was so entertaining.
That's the thing to take away from it is that at the beginning of it, I think I made a joke in the chat that I was like, I'm not going to remember any of that, but you guys are great. But I actually followed the whole damn thing. So, you know, what are you, good writers or something?
And Jen, I was busy reading, but I saw your hat and I was like, oh, Jen, you're wonderful.
Oh,
and the boys, she is.
It was.
They're all right too.
Yes. Anybody else? Any other comments? Go ahead, Bruce.
Just as an actor, that was so much fun, and I was thrilled that you asked me to be part of this, and I cannot wait to see what happens next, because I honestly have no idea. I mean, I've read it a few times now, and I've tried to figure out where you're going to go with this, and I haven't a clue, and that thrills me. So keep it up.
Haven't a clue, and yet like completely on board with it. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that. It was wonderful. It was really entertaining and smart and entertaining. Absolutely. Anybody else? Go ahead, old
Entertaining.
woman.
You should hashtag that. Don't call her
Ah,
old woman.
Old woman, you boy whippersnapper. I just wanted to say that I am beyond intrigued, much like my co-actor Bruce, in that I know something's going down and I really don't know what it is. And even coming from the person who played the old woman, I was like, I was so adrift as to how to play her, because I was like, where is this all going? And everybody was coming in different pieces and things. And I think that it's the type of work that will just, I think by the end of whatever this is that you're writing, when it's shot and done and whatever, I think you're going to have a really tight knit family on your hands. That's what I think. I think everybody's going to know every in and out of stuff, because I feel like it's such a, you know, immersive for the actors playing the role, you know, like knowing all the little things. So anyway, I don't know what else to say. I give it 10 stars, 2 thumbs up.
Go ahead, Carla.
I love all the characters and all the relationships, like the established relationships so much. Just like Dana and Bruce, and like the mid-mantra moment, and like the stuff in the elevator. Like there's all, even like, or like the I think, was it Connor and Jules who have the moment in the elevator? Like, you know, there's like backstories for all of these relationships. It's so well like weaved into the dialogue, and the performances of everyone's performances are just so wonderful and fun and funny. Like the usher, like every character and all you guys, like it was such a joy to watch you like play and say this dialogue. So funny. Mid-mantra.
Mid-mantra. Yes, Mandy.
Two things. I thought of a line that I was trying to like breathe for a second, and the first line that came to my mind was the moment where I believe Jules is the one that was like she was like, take a drink, and like, wait a moment, I'll take a drink and you'll see what's up. Like that kind of just like resonated with a feminist, like badass, like watch out kind of moment. And also just the same way I was mentioning with Perrin, like commenting on the fact that our world has changed so much, like phased like month by month and kind of thing. The idea of like being able to laugh in a fun way at the idea of the immersive theater thing, which obviously existed in a really awesome way with the few that really fucking kicked ass with it. Oh, I said fucking whatever. But
possible obscenity.
Sorry, YouTube. But being able to giggle at it feels not only like real for me, but also like smart in the way of the writers to be able to laugh at that moment that was and hopefully will be again, but who knows, but also like being able to comment on it in a good way. So kudos, you three.
Okay. Anybody else quickly? We need to wrap up. It is getting late. Carla, yes.
One question. Like, I'm curious about the tone. I'm very curious and intrigued by the tone of the piece, because it's so funny and it's so active and it's so vivid the way you've written it. But then the stuff with Jules, I'm like, is this going to go someplace kind of dark and like deeply fucked up? And like, just tonally, I'm like wondering where it's headed. I have no idea. So I'm very curious about that. That's all I want to say.
I'm just along for the ride here.
Yeah. Wow, it was a very, very smart, dark, funny, and not completely off. I mean, the references you make to theater and the real honesty that you give to the characters really make it work, because they are rich. They're definitely three-dimensional, but we also know them. Like Chase, my God, that elevator scene is just, you know, like that person who has to give that speech and then someone's like, I didn't realize you were part of the cast. It's just really funny stuff.
Relationship.
Yes, you could. Yeah. Huh?
Oh, I was saying even the relationship between him and the assistant usher.
Yes. I mean,
like perfect.
and a lot done with, you know, not dialogue, but just imagery, and the stage directions were so vivid that I followed it, even though, you know, it was just, you know, Jennifer, you know, with her red hat, just like walking around, wandering around.
And how funny for an audience to learn that the elevator operator is part of the cast from like something like this than actually doing it. That's amazing. They'll be like, oh, I learned something, but they don't know shit. It's funny. Sorry.
I realized it was the Knives Out, Cradle That Rocks, Birdman mashup that we didn't know we wanted.
Yeah. Oh, was
That,
it? Yeah.
that we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
Another popcorn moment, and then I'll shut up, was when Chase was like, and yes, you will be wearing masks. like when you will not take off your masks, and yes, you will be wearing that. That was great.
No, the moment was when he paused and Ginny actually said, pause for effect. Chase went, no.
Hey, you highlight it, I read it. What?
So,
that was a Zoom moment to the max. That was teamwork.
So you can still fill out all these the Google feedback forms. This is really informative to the playwrights. And again, I have all these chats that I'm saving that I'm going to get a kick out of reading later, and I will forward to you. Thank you, everyone. I do have a few announcements that I'll make really quickly. So the next lab is Lab 30 on October 23rd, and the link is still open for fourth quarter playwrights. If you're new and you're a playwright, please sign up to be a playwright in the next 3 October, November, December labs. And then you get your time slot, you get feedback, we get to help you cast it, and you'll be part of us. It's a lot of fun, and I really think it's informative and helpful. The acting link for Lab 30 will go up shortly. We have not chosen those playwrights yet, and we will get all that information out soon. The link for our mailing list is at the bottom of the Google form, but it's also, we posted it a lot. We'll post it again. It will be on our website. If you want to find out about our labs, about our Friday Night Footlights readings, anything, you can join that, and we will not bombard you with information. It's only twice a week. You'll get twice a month, you'll get a newsletter. David Kirby is going to talk about Friday Night Footlights, and then we'll close up.
Hey, so yeah, so once a month we're going to be doing Friday Night Footlights. It'll be it's being facilitated by myself and Mark Hoffmeyer, and it looks like, is the next one going to be next Friday, David?
No, we have to move it to October.
Okay, so we moved to October, but it looks like the next one will be with Paul Packler's play of choice, which slips my mind at the moment. Paul, are you still here? Do you want to?
He is not. He had to get going.
Okay, so
but it's that play, you know, the good one.
Say that again?
It's that play, you know, the good one.
That good play, that really excellent play, and really timely. It's definitely timely. I do remember that. But we sent an email to the company members. If you are interested in recommending something or want to direct it, or interested in acting or participating, there was a link to a Google form in that email.
We'll send it out
We
again.
wanted responses by this past Tuesday the 15th. It's actually open anytime. So if anybody has any suggestions, fill up the questionnaire there. It's very simple and straightforward. It's only a few things that are required, but then we'll work with you to help cast it, produce it, direct it, whatever, for this once a month event. And it's, if you have anything you've dreamed of directing or a role you've always wanted to play, this is the time to do it. And so we'd love to help you.
We'll send the link out again. Lastly, I want to thank Dan Checkley. Thank you so much for hosting tonight. And Erin Mohan, who's on the other side, who we love. She has been doing a bang-up job on the YouTube, posting all these links. I want to say thank you to all the playwrights and actors. Jen and John, do you want to say anything about Great Escapism coming up? I mean, it's in process right now. But are you accepting submissions for further on down the line?
Yes, absolutely. If you are a writer and you want to write for the fiction podcast that we've been building, they're all individual stories, so no need to, they're anthologies, so no need to fit into anything in particular. And you can send that to the greatescapismaudio@gmail.com. If you have any questions, or if you have a piece that you want to share with us, or anything at all.
Thank you so much. So again, thank you, playwrights. Thank you so much. The work was so fantastic, and what a great night of theater. Thank you to the actors. You all friggin', I can say friggin', right? Rock. You guys really brought this stuff to life. It was such a joy. Thank you. Please come back. We will be posting the link for actors. And if you're a writer, please submit and have your work read. Again, we are New Ambassadors. We are a playwright-focused company, so we do get work up on the stage when it's at all possible. This is our medium for now, the Zoom medium. That's it. Enjoy your weekend. Stay well, and please vote. And Dan, say goodbye. Sign us off.
Okay, well, yeah, like David said, thank you guys all for attending and watching and lending your writing and acting talents. It has been an absolute pleasure hosting. David, thank you for inviting me to do that. And hopefully we see you all, hopefully, at Lab 30 in October. Thank you so much.
Did we get a screenshot?
Yes, we did get a screenshot. Well, hang on. I just gotta